Sorry, guys. Now my mic is on. I'm gonna have to boost it because my microphone's very quiet. I'm gonna boost it by 10, 9. Okay. Hello, Red. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. Now, the subject matter, let's refresh our memory since it was, as Shane Cashman reminded me earlier today, about half a year ago. So, this is what we're going to be talking about today. If you remember the Eliza Blu thing, specifically Shane Cashman writing for Tim Pool about this. And, well, here we go. I think Jeremy might be able to fill us all in, and then that'll give me time to chow. I want to get Tabby's opinion on something that happened earlier today about this stuff. But anyway, check this out.
Shane Cashman. I am grateful that Eliza trusts me with her story. I am grateful for my readers. I am proud of my work. I am blessed with these opportunities. There has been no new information brought to light that would sway my belief in her, nor played a role in the removal of the series. Now, I saw this tweet going around, and it was kind of spicy. I wasn't sure exactly what happened. Well, it turns out that Timcast News just deleted his entire story, 80,000 words, flying him out to rural Illinois, paying for whatever, his travel, all this stuff. They just pulled it. And I think, in good faith, that's probably the right decision. And I think I know why they did. But how they handled it, again, really rubbed people the wrong way. Here in their kind of retraction notice that they said, due to the fact that gonzo journalism style of this series was misperceived by readers, so it's your fault, the series in its entirety has been removed, and we apologize for any inconvenience. Now, many people are telling me they think Shane Cashman's going to be let go from Timcast. I don't know why you would do that. This is the article that he wanted to write. People can disagree with it, but it's the article he wanted to write. I think that what probably happened is this. We already know, due to, video evidence of their last interactions on Timcast, that there had been some level of interest in doing a piece on this woman. He said he was going to anyway. That was long before any of the drama happened. So he was deployed to do this piece, and at that time, the drama kicked off. And I think he was trying to just do his puff piece, essentially, and then also try to address some of the criticism. Look at 42. We're ticking on up. Appreciate you. And it just did not work well together. His type of article is more like an interest piece, not probably best for getting to the bottom of somebody who's a proven liar on the internet. And so they end up basically panic deleting everything, and the internet's really dunking on them. And I think for some good reason, and some, well, it's the internet. See, part 3 of the Timcast News article by Shane Cashman has been pulled. Timcast News even deleted the tweets. And there's some other spicy stuff going on here because some people are talking about lawsuits and potential lawsuits that may be due to some of the things that were implied by Shane Cashman in the article against somebody on the internet named DeFango. I don't know anything about this individual. I don't mean that as a slight. I just don't know anything about them. I asked them some questions in the DMs the other day. Seemed cordial. I don't know anything about his past. I'm just saying, apparently he's the one that he was referring to as, the evil black SUV guy and stuff like that. And it turns out that Shane Cashman and DeFango ended up talking, and DeFango basically said the piece is done, no more news pieces. You see Crabman saying Timcast News deleted the tweet about Shadowbox or whatever. It's really odd. A lot of people talking about DeFango having potential libelous lawsuit statements because there was this video where Shane Cashman referred to, I guess essentially said, hey, DeFango is the guy I'm talking about, even though in the article he doesn't say that. So he says some really bizarre things about Defango's past, and claims he did all sorts of things like, that he clearly didn't do. Do I know? Do I think he's going to sue him? Probably not. It's usually not worth it. Does he have a case? Probably. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about defamation and libelous statements. For the most part, you have to prove damages. You can be mad that somebody said something heinous about you on the internet, but if it doesn't actually have a financial impact, it gets really murky in terms of winning a lawsuit. You have to say it caused like emotional damage, or like whatever the case is, and that's much more difficult. Even the things that Eliza Blu said, where she basically accused people of being, behaving, doing terrible things to her, like in that, not even a veiled accusation, an outright one. But if you can't prove that you lost sponsors or that you lost money or whatever, you're not going to win anything in a lawsuit. You're going to spend a ton of money chasing. And this is a common misconception of people online. Yeah, it'd be awesome to have FU money and just bury everyone in lawsuits, but you'll never win anything. Also, what money are you going to get out of Eliza Blu? Nothing. She lives at home. She's 40. She has no money, no job, no prospects, no car. What are you going to do? So now Tim, obviously that's a little different. Timcast News has a lot of money, but you see the deletion is very, very interesting. You see Legal Mindset says, called it defamation is a real danger here. It's interesting. That's why they deleted it. It was this calling Defango a stalker. And obviously that was not true, but it's not a good look, and it's a huge debacle. And you would think, it looks like, Shane Cashman's credibility is shot, right? Unless he comes out, all Shane would have to do, I think, is to say something like what I said, like, hey, I was really going out there just to do this, like, I don't know, human interest piece on this person, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Suddenly all this drama kicked off, and I tried to kind of morph into this, to address the criticism, address what was going on. Obviously that didn't work. But it was also in the way that he went about it, outright accusing people of bad behavior that he had no evidence of, outright ignoring the many holes in Eliza Blu's story, essentially saying people were mean to him on the internet, so he was going to ignore any evidence. It's been a wild story. It's now going into Valentine's Day. This story has been, had legs for 2 or 3 weeks now, and I'm really hoping that kind of this is the end of it. You can even see, Eliza Blu gained followers today. 17 new followers. So it seems like kind of the mass exodus of people unfollowing her has ended. She lost about 30,000 followers. Her credibility is completely shot. Look at that. Oh, she's even getting even more. And I think ultimately, look, how can I, if I'm being as good faith as I possibly can, I know a lot of you hate this because I just want to hope that there's some shred of humanity in people. Let's say she just lied about it all for attention. Okay, credibility. I don't want to hear about you talking about how you suffered or this or that. You were a scene girl that partied too much and, whatever happened. I still think she can do some good work. Shane Cashman never really lost any followers. He took a lot of heat on the internet, but it looks like from people that weren't following him in the first place. But they will probably follow him around for a very long time. Eliza getting absolutely buried in community notes. But, I'm hoping that going forward, this woman can still do good work and help people, whatever that is. And maybe, podcast hosts and things of that nature might just think twice before saying she's doing good work and all this kind of stuff. You could see here, to prove that I am not a survivor, many made me a victim again. You can never say that I'm not a survivor, blah, blah, blah. Community notes, Eliza Blu consented to the creation of this video, blah, blah, blah. Here, You didn't fight censorship. You fought to exploit me. Community notes. Consent cannot be withdrawn from a piece of content after the content was published. The video was published in 2016, and she stated she was proud of the video. Community notes BTFO'd. Today I've decided to change my story as a survivor. Oh, community notes. The recent events surrounding this do not meet the definition of image-based essay. All content was consensually recorded. Just BTFO nonstop. Here she retweeted somebody saying the lying narrative people are using to discredit her and myself has been a hate campaign. This is Annie Dunwald. Boom. Community note. Fact checked. Annie Dunwald and her organization Eve's Angels Inc. was sued by her own parents for defamation. This is not a lie, and the link shows the public court records. She was ordered to pay over $40,000 in restitution. So I think what's really great about this is I think Tim's going to get a lot better. You know, he did. I hope that this week he can just get after it again. He did make his chat members only, which, you know, people really revolted against. But it didn't seem to affect his viewership, so I don't know. I'm going to go a different approach and ask people to consider supporting the channel to help reduce the number of ad reads. That's what it's for. Help support my channel to reduce the number of ad reads. There's a link in the description. You can find various membership levels here. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I also want to point out, look, Brittany Venti is still locked out of our Twitter account, as far as I know. And that needs to get fixed still. So hashtag free Brittany Venti. She is wrongfully locked out of our Twitter account. Also, Andy No even interjected with, it's wrong for a publication to throw staff writer under the bus because their writing was unpopular or poorly received. If it had inaccurate parts, it should be corrected and updated. If it didn't meet editorial standards, that's on the editors before they clicked publish. Like, you know, this is like, it's a masterclass in mishandling feedback. It's a complete tantrum. He's obviously referring to Timcast here. So, you know, it's been very bad. Shane, he might be a very nice guy, but I don't think he was cut out for this kind of deep dive, investigative journalism, especially when, you know, so much information is already out there and you toss the guy to the mob that already exists. But I absolutely wish the best for everyone involved. Honestly, I hope everyone just stops lying and smearing people. I hope Tim gets back to business as usual. I hope Eliza just fades away and quietly helps all these people that she says she's been helping, because certainly losing all these. Thank you so much for viewing. If you joined the channel new throughout this, I hope that you'll enjoy my other content.
All right, so in response to something that he said just a few seconds ago, what did you just say there, Tabby?
I said if you're helping people, they usually report it to other people for you.
Yeah.
You know? They're like, oh my god, this person did this really nice thing. This person helped me in this great way. That's how it works. The fact that you're sitting there going, I've helped so many people. Really?
Give me money so I can continue doing so.
You have. Can you show me one of these people? No, you can't. Okay, so I call bullshit.
By subscribing down below. Thank you to everyone who chose to join as a member.
Sorry,
today.
everybody. Didn't mean to do that. All right. My computer doesn't work so very well these days, so if I crash, I'm sorry about that. It's very limited ever since an update. Now, maybe we should just at least get a visual of who Eliza Blu.
Hill cam model. There you go. Attention-seeking hoe.
Yeah.
There's another one. Liar. There's another good one.
Look, here's Eliza Blu
Prostitute.
at Temple
There's
Down.
It's like, I'm sorry, you are not sex trafficked if you are getting paid. It's called you have a pimp. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a fucking difference. Now, if you had wanted to bring up pimp charges, I'm sure you could have. But seeing as how it was done in another country, I doubt they have a rule against it. But it seems like that tape had his bases covered. So you know what?
Yeah.
He's the smart one here. You, Eliza, are a fucking moron. A blue hair needs to grow it out fucking moron.
Yeah, well, that's what she wore on Tim Pool.
Yeah, with her like, oh, I have evidence, but I can't show it to you for legal reasons. What? You can't show me the evidence for legal reasons?
So just believe me. That's what it comes down to.
Bullshit. I'm sorry, if you come up with an excuse like that for legal reasons, I can't show you any proof. You're full of shit. You are full of shit. There's no legal precedence whatsoever that says you can't show any evidence. In fact, showing evidence usually helps your case. Especially in the eyes of the public who aren't morons!
At any rate...
Oh my god, she's uglier than I remember.
Yeah, at any rate, you certainly should not be accusing people of something without having very good evidence.
Yep.
So this was her appearing on Tim Pool. Now, I don't know if you guys, if Jeremy from the Quarterly there really did explain everything, and I'm not going to explain everything, but apparently she was a scenester girl who was a My Chemical Romance groupie, I think for the singer, I'm not sure. There's some video out there, to confirm that. And let's see, she also did dancing in a hip-hop video or auditioned or whatever.
No, she was a cheap hoe. They get in a lot of hip-hop videos because they're willing to do anything for camera.
Right, and then I don't know what else she's done, but recently she's done this thing where she claims to be an advocate for sex-trafficked women, and she claims to be a victim of sex trafficking herself, and so she went on Tim Pool's show to talk about it. Now, Tim Pool, to be fair, seemed pretty skeptical about it, alright? This guy here, shoot, I just forgot his name, Luke Rudkowski. After this show, I noticed he was gone for quite a while. I don't know if that's coincidence or not. He does periodically go on the road with his RV, but I noticed that on this show, he didn't seem to care about anything other than his usual stuff about fighting the big power. And when they tried to get him to comment at one point, he's like, look, I just don't care.
Yeah,
he said it right in front of her too, like, I just don't care about this stuff,
Well, I don't care
and he
that
he left after this stuff happened, and I think, or at least, I think he may have left for his own integrity, because even though Tim Pool didn't just believe her, he did send Shane Cashman, a quote-unquote journalist, to go write about this whole stuff. And he came back with this piece that we'll get into it, but I mean, Jeremy went into the piece, okay? It wasn't journalism, all right?
No, it was
and
a fat boy.
It was basically PR for her, and go ahead, Tabby, what did you want?
It was a fat boy fan letter to a bitch he wanted to get his dick wet in.
Right.
That's what it was.
She probably batted her eyelashes at him.
Oh my god. Some men are so desperate. That's sad.
And he's a family man, by the way.
Of all the females on the fucking planet, you're gonna drop your integrity to the fucking floor for this bitch? All integrity gone. Everything that a man fights to have, gone. In one fell swoop, because you saw tits and ass and that's what you wanted.
Right.
And that's all you thought about. You are the embodiment of a slur against men. That men only think with their dicks. That's what you've done here. You've only thought with your dick. You didn't think about her story. You didn't think about anything. You just thought, ooh, dick jar, up. And you went for it. And Tim, you didn't did you not proofread? Did you not bother to look at it?
That's where people have an issue with Tim. And when people started to call Tim out, he acted very angry. He either just sort of said something very curt to whoever was trying to criticize him, or said nothing.
Which is not a good look, Tim.
It's not a good look at all.
It's like, I have a lot of respect for you, Tim, but that is not a good look. When one of your employees, somebody that you pay, writes a fucking fan letter to somebody they're supposed to be, I don't know, reporting on, investigating in, those kind of things, and they come back with a, oh my god, I want to get my dick wet kind of letter. You should question that, Tim. You should question everything about that, Tim, because again, he threw his integrity away because he wanted to get his dick wet. You threw yours away because you didn't want to read what he wrote.
Yeah, I
Was
guess.
that it? Because I'm going to give you the benefit of the fucking doubt. I'm going to give you a small bit of benefit of the fucking doubt and say you didn't read it because you didn't have time and you just let it slip through. If that is the fucking case, suck it up and admit that. Yes, we know you work 24/7, Tim. All you have to do is admit that you didn't read it.
Yeah, and also the fact that it was 4 parts and every part was long. That's a problem.
Reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like all you have to do is admit the most likely truth, which was you just didn't feel like doing that part. You didn't feel like going the extra step of reading this piece of fucking shit, and you just put it on.
Yeah, I mean, he should have been like, all right, look, Shane, this is really long. Where do you go into the fact that she, where do you go into either the evidence that she has or point out that you tried to get it and your efforts failed because apparently she couldn't come up with any? Like, where is the bottom line?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I will give him some credit for that because he seemed, from my recollection on this episode that we're looking at right now, it seemed to me that Tim Pool's attitude was sort of a soft version of, well, you got to show me the evidence, otherwise I'm not going to just believe you, but I am going to sit here and listen to you.
Yeah.
Right? Luke being sort of like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so big corporate powers emerging with the government and the media's, you know, and, you know, so that's that. But yeah, I mean, there's no excuse for number one, for just putting this, putting out what Shane wrote as is, and number two, ripping it offline. Number three, you know, without commenting on it, as if it never happened.
You look worse. It looks worse, Tim. All you have to do is say you didn't read it and leave it there.
Say oops.
Like, oops, this is what happens when
Right.
I don't have time to read what gets put up.
Right.
I'm very sorry.
So
How is that so
apologizing-
hard? You don't even have to fucking mean it. It can be complete fucking lie. But you know what? Most of us sheep out there will listen, Tim.
Yeah.
That's how human minds work. You're sitting there digging your fucking heels into the dirt going, no, Tim, that's going to make people want to fucking pull you harder.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Just give up. Be like, yeah, I'm sorry. Fucked up there.
Yeah. So.
Or don't even, but just leave it up and let people debate it until you have a legit fucking comment to excuse what you've done.
Yeah, definitely.
But
let
don't
people
hide
debate
it, because that's just going to make people come after you harder.
Yeah, that would have been a great thing. Tim could have put a little editorial thing saying, look, I don't know, like, I wasn't there for the interview. What do you guys think? I'm going to leave this open to criticism or something.
There you go.
Just
That's
something.
not so hard. You don't even have to lie.
Or an open invitation for Eliza to, at any time, come forth with the evidence she claims to have. But in the meantime, you know, officially...
I think what happened is Tim, he didn't know how to trust his gut here. You have this female who's yelling assault.
Yeah.
Right? Good men in the room when a female goes, oh my god, assault, sex trafficking, my body.
Yeah.
The good men jump up and try to defend.
Yes.
Instinctually. They can't help themselves.
Right.
Good men don't often need evidence for that. They just impulse.
Right.
You know?
Because even your brain's going to go, well, I'll figure it out as I go along. Right
Exactly.
now, I'm going to protect this member of my tribe who's in danger.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's a female.
And so I think that's where Tim is getting ooky feelings about the situation. That's why he didn't go in on her like a fucking, you know, angry badger when she started not showing any evidence or anything like that. Because usually Tim can be pretty cutthroat.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that she had thrown out a sex victim card.
Yeah.
And when you do that, the men in the room who are good men try to defend you. They can't help it.
Yeah.
The one smart man in the room just stayed out of the subject because he found it detestable. Because she threw out a card. And he fucking caught it. And he's like, no! And he threw it back at her and just ignored her. The other men in the room, they didn't have that capacity. They're not detached enough from their male emotions like the other one is.
Yeah.
You know?
And keep in mind, it took Tim Pool a few years to come around to figuring out half the stuff that Luke seems to have been keyed in on since Occupy Wall Street. That's how they know each other, is through the Occupy Wall Street thing. But it seems to me like, you know, Tim has been slowly coming around to where Luke has been for all this time on a lot of different things. Not everything.
Yeah.
Not everything. When it
Tim
comes to
was-
banking and corruption in government, and, you know, like, you know, us, we've always been against all that and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But this whole, like, you know, liberal versus conservative, blah, blah, blah. Tim Pool took a while to kind of break out of the liberal. He thought he was a liberal. He found
And
out he
that's
wasn't a
probably
liberal,
why-
more libertarian. And he came around to Luke's view. And what I'm saying here is that Luke is sharper when it comes to, you said, throwing out card. Luke has a little bit more of, like, reading the room, reading people's faces, and I'm saying metaphorically, of figuring things out. What's the angle? What's the con?
Well, the thing is Tim's previous leftist brainwashing, it has a lot of tentacles in his mind.
Yeah, it
and so, like I said, when a girl throws out the victim card, a good man defends her. A leftist man does it to an insane degree most of the time. Yeah. They're the Me Too boys.
Yeah.
Hashtag Me Too movement pushed by men who are leftist. Tim, if he was still insane, would probably have been one of those men, pushing Eliza's story and not thinking about it because he's leftist. And hyperbolic emotionalism is big on that side.
Yeah.
So that's probably what she was appealing to. That's probably what Tim was fucking fighting against and lost horribly because he edited his shit instead of explaining his shit, which is what leftists do.
Now, when you say edited, in this case, I think what you mean is just taking the whole thing down and not commenting on it.
When you remove something like that's what the leftists do. They don't comment on it. They don't debate it. They don't explain it. They just erase it. They're like, nope, didn't exist. It's just he's falling back to default settings because it's what he knows. It's not that he is a leftist. It doesn't make Tim a bad person. It's when you're brainwashed for so long. Yeah. They're gonna be like
quirks.
You're gonna be.
Defects.
You're gonna have serious hiccups in life.
It's like your mind has limps. Your mind has limps to it because your legs were broken long ago.
Exactly. And so his mind is. Tim's mind is limping at this subject because that side of his brain just wants to be all emotion and defend. Yeah. So he doesn't know what to do. Yeah. That's probably why there's a good chance he read that fucking paper and let it through anyways because that part of his brain just blinded his logic for a second. Because that's how these people work on the left. Their brain is flawed in their logic center. It literally detours around logic on purpose to keep itself happy. Imagine a brain that literally defeats logic for itself, which is contrary to what the brain is supposed to do, just to keep itself sedate and happy. Yep. That's the leftist mind. That's why they freak out when you give them any facts contrary to what hive mind thought they have. They flip the fuck out. Oh,
Megaratsu is with us today, Tabby. He thought, or he or she, I'm sorry, thought we've been gone for a long time as a channel, but no. But he chimes in, what Tabby is explaining is called a simp. Yeah, he simped. I almost used that in a tweet. He was simping for her, and Timpool was simping for both of them, I guess, in a sense. But I think, and by the way, thanks for all the comments. AZ says Tabby calls bullshit. Yeah, Lancer737 is with us too. So is Dianetta Dias, and Lancer already said that. It's wonderful to see everybody here.
Hi guys.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'll try to get to the comments. It's flying by so. Hi Jerry, good to see you too. Thomas Payne is here too. What's that?
It's a touchy subject, so of course people have a lot to say about it and comment.
Chuck Norris Gun Club, love the name.
Somebody is claiming sex trafficking, for God's sakes, without evidence, and you have these guys who are just like, yeah, let's defend, or let's cover, let's hide. That's annoying. Yeah. Because there actually are people who are sex trafficked, and you all ignored them completely, because Eliza and her tits were in the room. That's fucking sad.
Yeah.
That's fucking sad.
Yeah, now, I think that's an angle. I think that's a very big factor. I really do. Because if you watch the live stream, especially, you can see it visually, but you really also have to listen to the tones of voices, all right? Yeah. But if you watch the live stream, not this one here that I'm trying to...
And you can see poor Tim trying to
hold it together.
His emotions.
He's just got poker face. Well, he doesn't need poker face. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care because he's not...
Luke, I'm talking about everybody.
As they said, he's not a simp.
Yeah, Luke not the simp here.
Luke is the difference. Luke is a feminist male, where he sees men's bullshit and he sees women's bullshit is completely equal, and he's turned off to both. Yeah, he's sane.
I think that's fair.
He's completely sane. He's the closest thing to an actual feminist you're gonna find, because in his mind, women and men speak the same kind of bullshit, which is smart because they do.
Just making sure it was muted.
Lie. No one's fucking perfect on this planet. And yes, women are good at lying because we're supposed to be. We have babies we have to hide.
By the way, you notice how much eyelash she has to bat? I don't think that's a accident.
No, I also know she has to bat her eyes really widely. Because she got some thick falsies on.
Yeah, she's got some big falsies on.
And lots of eye goop to
She's
keep
got
them
Tammy
falsies
Faye
hidden.
Baker under... look, she's got falsies on the underside, too.
Yeah.
Like Tammy Faye Baker.
It's because she's got small eyes and a fat jaw. Everything below her nose is extra big because men and women, as we get older, our features get bigger.
Yeah.
So from the eyes down is her old self, is her aging. From the eyes up is the younger her.
Right.
So she's trying to emphasize the younger side of her face by making it bigger and more, whoa, look at my eyes, not at my nose that's growing wider, and my cheeks that are huge and fat,
Yeah.
my jaw that is jowling out and looking like it's trying to find gravity.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like her face is sinking, and she's gotten a lot of fillers to fix the sink
Yeah.
in her face.
Yeah.
And it's not working. She knows it's not working. Why do you think she's sex grifting right now?
Yeah.
Because she's fucking 40. Do you know how many men go to a campsite to see a 40-year-old's ass? Not a lot. Not a lot. Some do. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of guys out there. There's an army of men that would look at that 40-year-old ass.
Uh-huh.
But they don't have enough money.
Well, I mean...
There could be an army of men that want to look at a 40-year-old ass, but maybe 10 of them want to give you money. If you're young, you have 1 million men who want to look at your ass, and 1/4 of them want to give you money.
Well, as we know from the numbers, I'm not going to get any details, don't worry, baby.
Yeah.
But as we know from the actual numbers that we saw online, you are one of the exceptions of a woman who is not, say, 21, for example, who have people who find her sexy as hell and are fans of your beauty.
That's because people just love a good old-fashioned asshole.
No, I mean, this has nothing to do with your opinions. We're talking about the others. Okay, look, we'll just won't not go into it. But I want to go into something, but I also don't want to ignore the chat. I'm just gonna. Okay, Tim is being. Lancer says Tim is being positioned to be taken down. Ashton Birdie, wow, was backing Blue. Really? Remember Ashton Birdie? She was in with that crowd that we sort of knew on Facebook, the Berkeley crowd that were dealing with Antifa there. She was a college student there, along with the guy that was the head of the student, I don't know, the debate team or whatever, and he was running for president of the college or whatever, student president. Blonde, sort of got attacked by Antifa at Berkeley one night, and then whatever. Anyway. What was he saying about Ashton? That Ashton was backing Blue. Yeah, Ashton, she's not that smart.
Hyperbolic females are a thing, so don't be surprised.
Yeah,
about that one. That's why that hashtag, the Pound Me Too movement got such good legs, because women are stupid.
Ashton is the one that looks like the female lead in the movie Midsommar. And
Dang.
well, anyway, she was in with the whole crowd, that were doing the whole. Remember in the spring and summer of 2017, when the people were basically protesting back against Antifa and getting attacked by them in Berkeley, February, then in March, then in April.
Like, I was kind of big into that whole BAM and Antifa thing, so there's a lot of blonde chicks that would fit that scenario for me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she apparently was. Lancer737 says she was spreading tweets trying to link Tim Pool to Andrew Tate and Steven Crowder and the guy from the Prison Planet. Prison Planet. You mean? I don't know if you mean. Shoot. I forget. Alex Jones, I think you mean. But anyway, okay. Let me get to the meat of the matter, though. So now we can appreciate. We could all be reminded of the background. Now, this first tweet. This is what we call the Culture War Encyclopedia. I promised Shane Cashman that I would have to make an entry about him here. It's still being edited, but here we go. This morning, I just saw this come across my feed for some reason. A tweet by Shane Cashman has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But I use that as yet an opportunity, and I've done this many times, but I've done it back when he and Tim Pool were getting many, tens of thousands of tweets on this subject, and, there's no way they're going to read them all, right? So today, Shane Cashman tweeted this about something, and I responded, "Have you apologized yet?" He responded with, "I have nothing to apologize for." I replied, Look, I have apologized to my audience for, I meant getting, not girding, things wrong, and for allowing myself to be misled. It feels good. Let it out and get it off your back. Admit that she played you like a thirsty guy who falls for those sort of womanly tricks.
It's fine.
You know you did it. Just admit it. To paraphrase or to quote Chris Rock. You know you did it. Just admit it.
Tim, you're human.
No, it's not Tim. This is Shane.
Well, either way, whoever the fuck it is, it's fine to be human. It's fine to lust with your dick and not think with your brain. Women do it all the time. Only we argue you don't have a dick to, use in the comment.
Yeah.
We think with our vaginas a lot more than you guys would think.
Yeah.
So, it's fine if that happens. You know why? Because you're a human. It's gonna happen. The point is that you're not supposed to fall so far down the rabbit hole that you lose sight of day. Which some of these people who have been defending her did just that. They jumped down the rabbit hole. They didn't even bother to look for daylight. They're just down there in the dark, rooting around, crying. Which doesn't make any kind of logical sense. It just doesn't. But if somebody defends her because they got a hard on, that's normal. That's normal. It is. It's repulsive and dumb, but it's normal. And we're just fucking hairless monkeys, so we're gonna be repulsive and dumb. That's normal. Mm-hmm. I would expect no less of a healthy human mind. Than to do some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
But at least try to admit that you have those fucking urges to do something stupid when you're caught doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Like, that was me being dumb. Like,
So,
just say it.
Shane responded with, that's good for you. I wrote back, I'm trying to help you to regain a shred of merit and credibility, Shane.
Being too generous.
His reply was, I'll be fine. Thanks so much for caring, though. And I replied, oh, so you have no conscience, I see. Well, then I have no mercy for you any longer. You are going down in the Culture War Encyclopedia for posterity. He responded with, I think those are supposed to be praying hands and party stuff, party confetti and woo, kind of. All right. So I responded with, you were supposed to investigate, uncover, expose, and report. What you actually did is think with your other brain.
Southern
Instead, she batted her eyes at you and you fell for it. You sacrificed your credibility because you got a little attention from a manipulative snake.
You know what? Eliza would do good in Muslim porn because she can hide everything but her eyes. And seeing as how she's Tammy Faye and accentuating them.
Yeah.
That's probably all she's got left. So she should try that.
All right, so I snapped back. Well, he responded, I'm stoked you're still thinking about a story I wrote half a year ago.
Because it's annoying, of course, dumbass.
Well, because I don't know why, but he came across my feed. And so I took it as an opportunity to ask if he ever had apologized. And I was hoping he would say, yeah, I did, and here's a link. Or something. Or like I did back in 3 months ago, and I could go find it. But no.
Nah, he's a simp. He's good with it.
Yeah, so I snapped back, karma is a bitch, and we'll not forget.
Yeah.
And then I responded also with, then I shared his tweet where he says, I have nothing to apologize for on my own timeline, and I added, remember the guy who left his wife and kids at home to go spend time with Eliza Blu to research her story? Remember how she
researching the grooves of your cock? Was that what happened there?
No, I doubt she did anything like that, but
she probably wouldn't have to. He seems like such a fanboy simp.
Right.
She could have spit on him from across the room, and he probably would have wet himself.
That's what I'm thinking, that she just sort of like she intentionally made eyes with him and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and he thought, okay, here's my chance to maybe get some attention, and who knows more? Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Eliza's an aging predator. She knows how to work a fucking simp's brain.
Especially, well, if you look at Shane,
Especially one that's still willing to simp for her. She's gonna know how to work that brain hard.
Yeah. So I continue. My response continues. Remember how she... Well, I'm going to start from the beginning. Remember the guy who left his wife and kids at home to go spend time with Eliza Blu to... and I tagged the wrong Eliza Blu, I think. I have to fix that. To research her story. Remember how she wrapped him around her finger and published... Oh, and he published, that's horrible, a long piece about her that was anything but investigative. He claims he did no wrong.
I'm sorry,
so
you
like
did wrong. because you investigated to the extent of wanting a date.
Yeah, so I'm calling
It's
him
not
out.
investigating.
Yeah, I'm calling him out for not being investigative here, and he actually responded to that on my own timeline with this totally Tabby. He totally owns me. You ready for his argument?
Okay.
Totally blasts me with, "You remember?" That's what he tweeted at me.
Okay.
So he's kind of just making fun of me saying, "Remember when Shane did this?" And he's like, "Yeah, remember."
Okay, so that's why he was so easy. I get it. All right. He was so easy to manipulate emotionally because he's got the mind of a teenager.
I guess so.
Think about it. When you're a teenager, are you not easily manipulated by things you see?
Yeah.
You know? That's just the main thing. That's why politicians love fucking the whole, get the vote! Get out and vote! Get the spirit of the vote going in all of them goddamn high schools.
Yeah.
It's called brainwashing 101.
Yeah.
So that's where he is mentally. It's still at brainwashing level.
I guess so.
And he got a hard-on for a hot chick that was in the room with him, so I'm guessing he ain't that pretty. And doesn't usually get put in rooms with hot chicks often.
Well, like
Or
I
what
said,
he would
he left his
consider
wife
a hot chick. I
he
don't
left
think
his
she's
wife and kid at home to go write the story in another state.
Yeah, that's it. That's his reality. He's chasing childhood. He's chasing being a teen, and Eliza made him feel young, and now he's gonna stand and die on that fucking field of feeling young.
Yep, I've seen families
so sad.
torn apart over stuff just like
So
this.
sad. That's usually a woman's thing to do.
Yeah, but
Die
not
on the
always.
battlefield of youth. You know, it's like, no, that's usually our fucking weirdness. Guys usually just buy a car. Why don't you just go buy a car? You know,
Right,
go
you-
buy a dick
you
car,
work for
flash it
Timcast,
around
right? You
for
should
a
have some money
while,
now,
and
at
then
least some
sell
credit.
It, sadly, you know, that's what they do. That's what normal men do when they're having their midlife, I want to be a teenager again. They go buy a fucking muscle car to fucking basically be a living embodiment of their dick. They careen it around town, shoving it in every hole they can find. You know, because they just gotta. And then after a while, they feel ashamed because they realize what they've done, and they quietly sell it to their neighbor who's going through the same thing.
Yeah.
You know? You ever seen that car make it? I've lived in too many places. Tell you this. Have you ever seen that car make it from one neighbor to another neighbor's house? Because I have. And it's fucking funny. And it was a midlife crisis car, and they get passed around like old Band-Aid.
Oh. No, I've never seen that, but that's funny.
They do. Well, how do you think the old guy fucking afforded the car to begin with? He bought it from somebody who was doing the same thing he was doing.
Yeah.
And then it was a rinse and repeat down the line.
Yeah, the engaged few says, "Swing that belt."
So that's my guess, is he felt old,
Yeah.
triggered the teenager in his mind, and he simped.
Jerry Singleton says she's a gypsy grifter with big tits and mad skeletons in the closet.
Yup!
Daniel Keir says everything about Eliza Blu is fake as fuck. Lancer says just the trouble leftists in Arizona Guard are doing Trump supporting Arizona Guard, posting their pics on Reddit and posting homes of anyone with flags they don't like uncensored. Interesting. Now I'll come back to the chat in a second, but let's just wrap this up, this part up anyway. So after a while, you know, I wanted to poke him one more time, see if he would respond anymore, because, you know, it's so unsatisfying when you really expect something more adult than just member.
You remember? Are you 4?
Right.
Yes, I remember. Apparently you don't.
So in other words, if imagine we were sitting on a stage or whatever having a debate, and I say, remember the guy who left his kids at home to go spend time with Eliza Blu to research her story? Remember how she wrapped him around her finger, and he published a long piece about her that was anything but investigative. He claims he did no wrong, and then I'm showing that he says, I have nothing to apologize for. And imagine if they, you know, I put the mic down, everybody turns and looks at him, and he leans into the mic and says, yeah, you remember?
Yeah, it's pathetic.
Oh, yeah, I did it 7 months ago. I'm glad somebody was remembering it. So anyway, he has this tweet that has nothing to do with anything, really. But I read it because I saw the word punk, and I love punk. It's pathetic so much of the hardcore punk and metal scene is filled with neutered, fearful leftist shills, says Shane Cashman, right? Yeah, well, that's true. And I just responded, speaking of people going along to getting along, in other words, speaking of sellouts, when they...
Ouch! Ow!
When they should stand for the right thing. Hi, Shane Cashman. Remember what you did for Eliza Blu? Misspelling her name again, I did. But so that's where we're at right now. I just checked the notifications. I don't think he'll respond to me. I'm expecting him to block me, so I went and I archived all these tweets. Probably took 20 minutes out of my life just to do that, but there you go.
If he did respond, it would be tantamount to "I know you are, but what am I?"
Right.
100%. If he ever comments back, that's probably going to be basically what it is.
Yeah.
I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
He seems to be de-evolving mentally back into a child.
Yeah.
He was at a teenager level when he was wanting to put it in Eliza. But over time, it seems like he's rolling down the mental evolution, and he's now about 12? In the member berries, and I know you are, but what am I age? Right. He's probably going to get a little lower to the slapping themselves and yelling mom phase.
Yeah.
You know, where they hurt themselves and then they scream victim.
Yeah.
So that's why leftists do that, because that's how far they've regressed mentally.
Yeah, and to the point where they regress all the way back to
infancy, where
they scream.
They cry and shit on themselves in the middle of the street like an infant.
Yeah.
We've all seen the photos and videos. So
before we started live streaming, in the chat, Omega Rasetsu, if I'm saying that correctly, who you may remember, Tabby, says, "I thought you had disappeared." And I just want to take this as an opportunity to tell everybody, well, two different things. One is that we're really heavily shadow banned. Yeah. We even took the time out to make, I took the time out to make a bunch of different accounts, subscribe to our channel, set it so that, all notifications are set to receive. I even put a poll out. You may have seen me post that on YouTube for everybody to click on the poll. And it turns out, in my own provable experience, and according to the words of some of you out there, they are telling about 50-something% of the time when we have videos out, so that's a lot that they're not telling people. That's one. Number two is I've definitely slowed down with how many videos to make. Number three, I can't make anything but live streams these days because my computer, I think it's the Windows update, has wrecked my computer's ability to do a lot of different things. Yeah. I'm surprised that we've been able to go this far. So that's that. But I've been pouring a lot of time into the Culture War Encyclopedia. Both as a channel, so you can find that on all the platforms. I hope you subscribe to me everywhere. You can subscribe to me on the YouTube Culture War Encyclopedia channel, but definitely subscribe to my channel, Culture War Encyclopedia, on Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, and MeWe. Also, and there's links in the description for all this. Click on that one link; it'll take you to everything. Also, Tabby's channel. So all my channels, all my social media is Tabby's channel, all on that one link. If you click on that one link in the description, it'll take you to one page with all those links. So yeah, Culture War Encyclopedia. Imagine if Wikipedia was dedicated not to just everything, but only to the Culture War, and imagine if Wikipedia wasn't filled with bullshit bias towards the left. And imagine if they brought more receipts, because sometimes Wikipedia makes claims about things that are contested in the Culture War without bringing all the receipts, whereas I do. All right, so Die Not a Die. Eliza Blu or Eliza Blu? I don't know. I really don't know. I think I definitely tagged the wrong person, I think. I think I saw a check mark, a blue check mark, so I was like, oh, that's her, and I tagged her in there, but who knows. So somebody may rightfully bitch me out.
That's admitting
and
truth.
I
that's
will.
Fine. It's
well,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll apologize to that person. If they want me to take it down, I'll probably take it down.
Not bad.
But I'll have to, tell people that I took it down and why. Omega Rasetsu says, what about Facebook? Sent you a message a few months back, and that's it. That's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. But about the Facebook thing, I don't know. It's been at least a year, if not more, since I've been on Facebook. Tabby, too. It is, I forget what exactly, but, every time I was on for a day, maybe an hour, maybe 2 weeks or whatever. But, sooner or later, I would say something. Often they wouldn't tell me what, and they'd kick me out for wrong thinking. So it just got to the point where, and the funny thing is they broke apart. And it was also, Facebook was being less and less useful for me. I used to use Facebook to communicate with people like Joey Gibson, Russell Schultz, Amber, Ashton Birdie, all those people in Berkeley and Portland, etc. And Facebook systematically undid that. I even knew Enrique Tarrio on Facebook, in the DMs and everything. I mean, they just freaking They just took him off, and then sometime later they took off Joe Biggs, and they took off Joey Gibson, and they kept taking off Tiny. It was harder and harder to get their comments on things.
And they wanted more and more of your information.
Right, there's that. Yeah. And so, like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I mostly use it for, is for gathering information and for, and I got, let's see here. Oh, the group. Yeah, there was this group where a lot of us would talk with each other. It was a private group, and that got shut down too. And so a lot of unity was lost because there were a lot of good people whose names you don't really know who are behind the scenes who really do a lot of work. Say, like, I'm thinking of a particularly grandmotherly woman who's awesome. I wish I could say her name, but I don't know if she wants me to. But, you know, you get the idea. And that was all broken apart. No more Facebook. And besides, you know, Facebook, they just gather information for China. Yes, I was... They don't have my actual information. I'm trying to not say something that would get me too much trouble, but they don't have my accurate information as a real me. And yes, they were demanding that you prove who you are, and I'm like, no, fuck you. What, my forgery isn't enough for you? Just kidding, but not really. Just kidding, but not really. Just kidding, but not. Just kidding. Now, let's see. AZ, the stream just stopped for me, and I had to restart it. Interesting. I'm not sure why. It could be my connection. We live in a remote area, so that's a problem. Omega Rasetsu, Justin Trouble, they must really hate you because the stream suddenly stopped as if it ended, and I reloaded it, and it is still going. What the fuck? Yes, okay, so 2 people said that so far, alright? AZ, agreed, Omega. It was bizarre. Dinetta die. Playing smoothly over here, Omega Rasetsu. And now the buffering, and I have 5 bars of 5G. Same here, says AZ. AZ says I had to reduce resolution to 144. I didn't know that was an option. By the way, if I'm not breaking up too much here, I plan to put this out as a regular video if I'm able to. I'm going to edit any sort of lagging parts and put it out so that way if there's any... Well, no, I'm not going to edit any lagging parts. I'm going to use the video I'm recording on my end so there is no lagging and put that up. All right. That's what I mean.
The audio rarely lags. It's usually the video.
Yeah, and, you know, we'll see. Lancer737, Justin in Trouble. Hello, I hope you were able to read my comment you asked about the other day. You got to set comments to live chat. Yeah, I'm sorry. And newest, because top and popular live chat and newest? Let's see. I'm not sure how to set things to newest, though. Anyway, if you know, let me know. Okay, anyway. Newest because top and popular censored comments. Well, top chat is not there. All right. Well, anyway. Is it this? No. Anyway. All right. AZ, Tabby calls bullshit. I said Lancer737. Justin Trouble also, did you ever re-upload that video with the Red Guard calling for permanently putting down all white people? They were burning dolls in Texas representing all white people on Earth. I don't remember that particular detail. Jerry Singleton. Thomas Payne. Hey, Justin Trouble, and all. Hi, Thomas Payne. Lancer737 says hello. And by the way, Lancer, I think he was saying hello to Thomas Payne. By the way, yeah, Red Guard. You know what? It's probably going to all come to surface when I get around to doing the Red Guard entry in the Culture War Encyclopedia. Then I'll take any videos that I have whatsoever and upload them to the Culture War Encyclopedia channel on all those different platforms and embed them in the Culture War Encyclopedia, which exists mainly as a Substack, I should say. But there's a link you can see. Thomas Payne, hey, you're just in trouble. Okay, Lance 7 down at a time. People want to believe and be good, and some people take advantage. Yeah.
Yep, that's the truth of human nature. There are those that just want to believe in the goodness of others, and those that recognize that and use it as a weapon.
Yep.
And then there's the rest of us that just sit here with face palm going, oh my fucking God. That's the rest of us. We don't fall for it. There's not much we can do about it. We're just really, really insulted by human nature. Like, why?
Lancer says Ashton Birdie is trying to portray Tim as a cult leader. She might be claiming her quote-unquote casting couch was Tim. Yeah, I think she was on with Tim, I think. She's friends with Antifa and made a TikTok advocating for open borders. Yeah, somebody told me, maybe it was you, Lancer, that Ashton is flipped over, but I didn't realize he would flip over to Antifa. I would definitely have to see the proof of that. I mean, to be attacked by them and then to go over to their side later on.
It can happen.
I guess it can happen. I mean, she's not...
It can happen. It just depends on if they can get into your psyche.
Yeah.
Like, can they find a way to expose your brain's emotions? So, child abuse, woman abuse, lying about this or that. You know, there's different things. There's angles to get into a human mind to make them think that their enemy is now friend.
Yeah.
Because they share a common ground. Sharing common ground with your enemy it's common. Because your enemy is human too. So they're going to like and dislike a lot of things that you like and dislike as well. But the fundamental thing between your friend and your enemy is, are they willing to turn everything they have against you? If so, that's an enemy. Don't conflate them as a friend. You know? Your brain will want to, because we're monkeys. We want to increase the size of our fucking herd. We want to make our troop bigger. We want to keep our troop safer. You know? So we do dumb things based on that instinct. So we trust people blindly at times because they find a way to get into our head to make us think that they're part of our troop. Or should be a part of our troop, or we should be a part of theirs somehow. And then that's it. That's all it takes for the monkey brain to lose control of reality, fall down the rabbit hole, and become an ass. Because we're monkeys! We're just hairless fucking monkeys. I don't expect much of the human race. I just don't. I expect us to continue to be monkeys until we all wear spacesuits. Because we're just dumb, hairy monkeys, and we'll be dumb, hairless monkeys in spacesuits. Just what we are. That's why I kind of am a slight chaos worshiper, because it's funny to me. Us being monkeys, giant hairless monkeys running around with such narcissistic egos that we want to forget that we're just giant hairless monkeys.
Yeah.
It's funny.
We're giant hairless monkeys with a hypertrophied neocortex.
Yeah, it's like when you stop trying to be better than the monkey that you are, you can see the humor in everything. Like, oh my god, we're trying so hard. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at hilarious. It's like when we go to the zoo and we see the monkey eating the banana and we laugh.
Yeah.
The monkey doesn't know why we're laughing. So I sit here and I laugh at humanity like I'm laughing at the monkey in the cage.
Yeah.
I guess that makes me sick.
Not only that, we're monkeys who have simped for or have been manipulated by wolves into basically making their lives a lot easier and basically giving them a place on our floors, sometimes in our own beds and on our own couches.
Yeah.
And just giving them food so they don't have to hunt. Hey, got a wolf? She can emotionally manipulate me sometimes.
Yeah, it's funny. I sit here and watch her do it, and I'm just like, watch this animal manipulate the monkey. Because she does it to me, too. Yeah. You know? So it's like, it's funny when I see it happening to somebody else, I'm like, thank God it's not just me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's why I laugh a lot at this shit. Is I am enraged by these things, but at the same time, I just can't stop but giggle a little bit. Like, us dumb-ass humans, here we are again. This is why aliens don't visit.
Yeah.
This is why they don't visit, people. Because we're hairless monkeys and they know better.
Now, you guys know the scene from Dances with Wolves, right? I don't know if you guys remember. But main character is living out in the prairie all by himself. There's a wolf that is on the perimeter every once in a while. Wolf, I think, if I remember correctly, at one point is kind of like dancing around, you know, looking loopy. Lupine, you know, lupus, as in wolf. Latin joke there. You know, the wolf is basically playing around looking goofy, and it kind of amuses the main character. He's like, oh, that's funny, you know. And I think that's what they did with cavemen. You know, they followed cavemen around because cavemen would leave, primitive man. The primitive man would leave behind bones and pieces of meat and food. So the wolves follow around easy meat, and then they found out that they can actually make the humans laugh and throw food to them. Next thing you know, they're helping us hunt. And we're giving them a warm place by the fire, hand feeding them food, cooking it for them, you know. And then, fast forward 10,000 years or whatever, we got dogs galore, all different kinds.
And kitty.
Yes, kitties more for the vermin, keeping the vermin away, and for hunting, you know, maybe small game, but
that and kitty bellies.
Yeah,
like the
kitty
one I'm
bellies.
getting right now. I got a kitty belly, you jealous fucks. Ha 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 ha. He's big and fluffy, and I'm rubbing his tummy right now. Ha ha.
Yeah. So let me get back into the chat here. Let's shut down. Yeah, okay. So wait, so were you in that group? The what was it? The Berkeley Warriors of Freedom or something like that? Berkeley, yeah, something like that. Although not everybody there was from Berkeley. I mean, I was from Berkeley. Joey Gibson, not from Berkeley. Tiny, not from Berkeley. You get the idea. But that's how it kind of coalesced around the events that were in Berkeley of 2017, and then from there on. Anyway, Chronic Abundance, Nicholas, good to see you here. Learning that a lot of PBS were more feds than people. PBS? Oh, Proud Boys were more feds than people. Well, I would imagine, I don't know about more feds, but I would imagine there's got to be tons of feds in the Proud Boys for sure. Daniel says, that's why you thought you were gazoinked the other day. The stream stopped. Ah. Yeah, it could be, again, it could be the connection. We have, even on a bright sunny day here, the connection could drop a dozen sometimes in one day for some reason. And our company is horrible. Absolutely horrible. If I tried to tell you guys what we went through, first of all, you wouldn't believe it. Second of all, you get bored after a while. Because it's just never-ending hell with this company. Hot Retarded Chicks, good to see you again. Green check mark. All right. Chronic Abundance, Nicholas. Oh wow, I'm censored in lives. I thought so. I'm censored in lives. Oh, okay. I thought so. Figured as much when it's been like day 27 of a 1 week ban now. Shaking my head, man. Now comments show up on my side, so it looks like it can be seen, but when I look, it's gone.
I hate that.
Shenanigans. I call shenanigans.
Yeah, these social media places, they're such fucking sellouts.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of sellout, by the way, I'm glad that Rumble refused to consider Russell Brand to be guilty because he was accused, and maybe even if there was proof that he was guilty, they wouldn't cancel him, so to speak. But anyway, I don't know if you guys know, Rumble refused to do this, but YouTube took down Russell Brand, or maybe they just demonetized Russell Brand. I forget. Maybe they took him down and demonetized. I forget. But Russell Brand has been accused right after his pretty devastating appearance on Bill Maher's whatever.
He called out the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Of Bill Maher.
Right.
And his co-host.
And his audience was on his side because
because everybody sees this hypocrisy and they're fucking sick of it.
Yeah.
We're fucking sick of it. And Bill, nice showing everybody on the fucking planet who's ever had respect for you that you don't write your own shit. That you don't know a fucking thing that you're talking about, Bill. That you are a weasel, a two-faced, sellout, piece of shit little bitch.
Yep.
And why am I harsh on Bill? Because I was dumb enough to have respect for his mind. And now I can clearly see that his mind is full of shit and dumb cobwebs. There ain't nothing in there to be proud of. He's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been cheated.
Yeah.
Because
Me too,
I
yeah.
thought he had a brain, and I was convinced that he did, and now I feel stupid. And that's not okay.
Yeah.
If I'm stupid, I want to be stupid because I'm the fucking moron.
Yeah, you know,
not because I trusted that you weren't. That's annoying.
A little chunk of the inspiration for the reason why I do what I do now is back when I was still in college, I think this would have been probably 2015 late or maybe early 2016, was when Bill Maher show, whatever it was at the time, he had on with him Sam Harris and what's that? Ben Affleck and other people, but Sam Harris started getting into criticizing Islam, and this is back when I had respect for Sam Harris. I still have his books on my shelf from back, from years before that, but anyway, Bill Maher and Sam Harris were basically like, yeah, Islam is bad, and people, they just think it's a race thing. It's not a race thing. And so Ben Affleck is getting all red-faced and be like, well, and basically Bill Maher and Sam Harris were like, well, let's just talk about the facts. And by the way, this is a religion. It's not a race.
Yeah, dumbass.
You know, and so I think a lot of that, because Bill Maher and Sam Harris, especially Bill Maher, was like, let's get down to what the facts are.
Yeah,
right.
let's cut through your
And I'm kind of like, yeah, that a lot of that needs to be and you know, to be fair, I was already doing that, but that gave me a much more of a nudge to see that happen on such a big scale, to see a lot of people talk about that. And I'm like, yes, I've been studying this for years. I know that the left has no clue about Islam, and they're idiots about Islam. And at the time, we were living with somebody, if you remember, Tabby, who, even before she was my roommate, and before you moved in with us, it was a thing where we would like go out to the club together, then we'd talk online, and all of a sudden the subject of Islam would come up, and she'd get mad and not talk to me. Because she would be like, well, that's kind of like, it's almost racist. And
she's got a child's mind, and there's no way to analyze when it comes to a child's mind.
Right.
Some children can have that skill, other ones completely devoid.
Right, and so inevitably a couple of weeks later, she would start talking to me again, and I would just shake my head because I know that sooner or later I'm going to put out something I read in the Quran and talk about it, and she's going to get mad. You know?
She's going to get mad and then, probably get drunk on wine.
Right, so then at the time I'm talking about when that happened with the Bill Maher thing, she was living with us, and what was my point there? I forget what. It was just a culture war thing, and I realized that people like her and other people that I've talked to online, they need to have the facts laid out for them, for example, when it comes to Islam. And that was, to see that, and how a lot of people argue about that online made me think, yeah, almost nobody has any clue what they're talking about when it comes to Islam, so I need to dig into it and put stuff out on my channel, which I did. Early on, you'll see stuff about Islam and the Danish cartoon controversy, and I go a little bit into why Islam needs to be condemned and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's that. Let me go on with the chat. Let's see here. Chronic, there it was, showed up really late. Omega. To disambiguate, a simp is when a man bends over backwards for a woman who practically doesn't or has no reason to reciprocate.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of what Happy was saying, what you were saying. Yeah, there you go, Omega. Chronic says, laugh my ass off. It's even worse than that. We are more closely related to the mushrooms, LOL. That makes it even funnier. Now, do you mean when you say that, do you mean that we're more closely related to the mushrooms than monkeys? I'm not sure what you're saying, but are you making an allusion to the whole idea, the stone monkey hypothesis, the whole idea that maybe monkeys started taking psilocybin mushrooms, and that's why there seems to be this otherwise inexplicable huge development in the neocortex? I mean, look, the most complex structure in the universe is in your forehead, and that should not have evolved as fast as it did. There's no explanation for that.
Basically, if you do the percentages, humans have evolved 3 times faster than any species on the planet.
Yeah.
Any species. That includes cockroaches, who evolved quite quickly.
Now,
They had not evolved past their actual state.
I took an evolutionary biology class in college a couple years ago, and that means I know almost nothing. And I took the psychology class about the biology of the human brain, and I can tell you the first year that they teach about the human brain and psychology, you really don't learn all that much. So I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do know that I've read from other people who do know what they're talking about that they can't explain how the neocortex was able to form into such a complex structure so fast.
Well, that's why there's some people that believe it's alien intervention. Because
right,
you have
or mushroom
the human
intervention,
brain.
or both. Because
Well,
some people think, well, maybe mushrooms are the aliens that came down and they keyed in with our nervous system, and then that's how we made humans.
Yeah, when somebody says that humans have evolved 3 times faster, what they're saying is humans have had 3 evolutionary spikes.
Okay.
Okay? The first spike was our ability to grow a larger brain. Our brain pan increased, which allowed us to become larger in size, stand up more erect, start using more comprehensive tools.
I also think being able to cook meat and all those proteins from meat and the fat aided in the brain, the ability for the brain to.
Well, it also increased our lifespan because having a gut full of raw meat actually will kill you quicker than having a gut full of cooked meat.
Right.
Because your body can already process the pre-digested meat fiber quicker than it's going to be pulpy meat that is uncooked.
Yeah.
And very spongy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, during the Ice Age, when humans should have grown hair, which was the evolutionary spike of everything on the planet at that time, or damn near everything, we lost our hair and had to kill animals to put hair on.
Yeah.
So that's another evolutionary spike that didn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, it was
And that's
probably
why
our
people
ability
are
to
like,
wield fire, so
Well-
that served as our fur.
It could be that, but like I said, the people who believe it's aliens, they say no, aliens just put something in the DNA and it made people lose their hair. It's kind of silly. It could just simply be that, yeah, we decided to start living in caves with fire. You know? So why have hair?
Right.
Yeah, could be that simple.
But I'm not sure that is when you say mushrooms. Are you referring to that whole idea? You know, like a la say Terrence McKenna and etc. I'm not sure what you mean. Lancers, Ashton Birdie, the right wing, abused her in her other non-Harry Potter TikToks.
What?
I don't know. On Twitter, she attacked Joey Gibson, claiming he gets prostitutes. Well, I know those two knew each other. At least they went to the same events and all that. But what I don't understand the Harry Potter reference. Her other non-Harry Potter TikToks. I guess she has a Harry Potter TikTok, whatever that means.
And
Jerry's.
there's nothing wrong with getting prostitutes. I'm sorry, there's not. If you want to get your balls wet by some strange that you're paying for, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
run a risk,
consensual.
but it's your nuts. It's her fucking body. That you two can do what you want.
Yeah.
There's no problem here, in my opinion. That just seems moralistic to go like he has prostitutes. It's like, and
Yeah. Jerry.
what's a woman doing when she dates?
Yeah.
Technically, we're prostituting ourselves. So, because we get a ride, we get a meal, we get a movie, and then we get bedded. How is that not prostitution? So shut up with your morality.
Yeah. Jerry Singleton says Oathkeepers got took over by glowy ones too. I would not be surprised. But what's his name? Rhodes, something Rhodes or whatever. The guy with the eye patch. He was there, by the way, in Berkeley in 2017 at one of these events that Ashton was and Joey Gibson and all that. But Stuart Rhodes, he's one of the people who got slammed with a harsh sentence from January 6th, I'm pretty sure. I have to put him in the Cultural Encyclopedia and do a full investigation there. But I think they went after him pretty hard because he was there at J6, I'm pretty sure. But he probably didn't do much of anything wrong. Let's see here. Also in Ashton's YouTube Porkfest video, she claimed Trump's racism towards black people, which resulted in Floyd's death, opened her eyes about the truth of police brutality, unquote. That sounds like somebody who's really screwed the fuck up in the head, man.
Yeah.
Omega oh boy.
Ouch.
Ashton, what the fuck?
Fell into the rabbit hole, did you?
Yeah. By the way, Ashton long ago agreed to do our channel back when we had the webcam going and we could do that. We just were so busy we never got around to it.
How
But
old is Ashton?
I don't know. I mean, she was maybe first or second year college student when in 2017. So whatever that makes you.
Well, she's still young enough to be swayed. So
Yeah.
do that.
But at that time, she was dating that guy with the curly blonde hair and the glasses. Kind of looked like a blonde Buddy Holly. Remember they went to that one classroom where Yvette Falarca and other BAMN people were teaching there somewhere in that class, holding a BAMN meeting inside Berkeley.
Yeah.
And Carlos E. Pietrota at that time was infiltrating the BAMN people. And then Ashton Birdie and other people showed up and started pointing the camera into the classroom saying, why is this going on a college campus at Berkeley University?
Okay,
This,
that's
yeah.
ringing a bell.
Yeah.
So I hate them. I absolutely hate people who take communism to schools.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Get off the school campus.
Yep.
Go stand in the street and let traffic do its job.
Yep.
How dare you pander to children like that? That's disgusting.
Omega says, I have known for the past 18 years that Bill Maher was an idiot. People tell me how smart he is, and I blow his nonsense out of the water the same way I explained Latin to you. Yeah, well, by the way, I never really did learn Latin, even though I took it in college not too many years ago. But I passed Latin 1 and 2 somehow. I passed it. It really isn't all that complex compared to other languages. I thought German was more complex.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, a part of it is it's hard to cement it in your brain because it's a lack of ability to use it in the real world. But
So your brain doesn't hold it.
anyway, I don't want to get too off topic, but yeah, Bill Maher, about him, I don't know. all these years, I lived without television from about 1990 till about 2000 and I don't know 6 or something like that, right? So anything that I saw from Bill Maher or the politically incorrect or whatever would have to be from YouTube much, much, much later, right? And there was a period where when I was in college, I was going through a lot of stuff about learning about Islam and debating and blah, blah, blah. And then that's how I kind of discovered some of the clips on Bill Maher. And then later on, I discovered the one that we were just describing earlier. So, I only have a very selective impression of Bill Maher.
Yeah, I just feel dumb that I didn't see it sooner.
Yeah, and the same thing with...
really fooled, and that pisses me off. I don't like being blinded by psychology, and that son of a bitch... Somehow their programming managed to get into my psychology, and fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck those little weasels for managing that one. Thank you for showing me that there was an in there. Now it doesn't exist, but fuck you for having found it.
And then there's Sam.
That's just annoying.
There's Sam Harris. Even before I met Tabby, I had read a couple of books by Sam Harris. I knew that he was not afraid to be factually critical of Christianity, Islam, etc., and that it was the Islam that drove most people insane when he brought that up. And so I read a few books, and then I saw him on Bill Maher and basically taking on, Ben Affleck there. And, I thought, okay, well, here's somebody who can remain calm and cool and factual in the face of these things. And then, fast forward to now, the guy's totally deranged. Totally Trump derangement syndrome.
Can't see his
What the fuck?
Which this means that this is who he's been the whole fucking time.
I
He's
guess.
just really good at hiding it. And he's not so good anymore.
Yeah.
Eventually you can't hide your truth forever. Like, it will come out. So this is it coming out. This is the real Bill Maher. A fucking meat puppet. A goddamn meat puppet with a show. That's so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Self-righteous piece of shit.
Lancer says that's ironic because the WEF, I don't know what you mean by the WEF, while they were high on mushrooms, thought they talked to a gorilla that told them to marry humans, that too many humans are on Earth and we need to get rid of them. WEF. Oh, they mean the World Economic Forum? I don't know. Maybe you're making a joke there. Omega Rasetsu. However, we have pretty much gone to the farthest point we can, and it's all downhill from here. We are already regressing genetically, vegans more than omnivores.
Yeah.
And Lancer says, just in trouble, I've run into a couple of antifa groups that are also doubling as extraterrestrial research groups very loosely on Reddit and Twitter.
God.
Weird. Okay.
It's because they want to keep... There's a lot of conspiracists out there, and I call a conspiracist... This is my definition of a conspiracist. Somebody who literally has a tinfoil hat on their head.
Yeah, that's what you mean when you use that word.
Yes.
All right.
I don't mean just anybody you want to point the finger at that has a differing opinion. I mean the people who literally think aliens read their thoughts.
Right.
Okay. I forgot where I was going. I hate my brain sometimes. Oh God, that's annoying.
Antifa posing as the alien research.
And
whatever.
so that's who they're going for because those people are easily manipulated. Like think of unrich Scientologists. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are we doing? That's kind of what they're going for. They want people who are so dumb that they would pay you to lie to them.
Yeah.
And you can find a lot of them there in the alien community because they think aliens talk to them.
Oh, boy.
Some of them even think they've had sex with aliens.
Oh, boy.
It's a really fun community if you want to just, like, watch humanity unfold in its weirdest way.
Yeah.
Just, like, wade through them on the internet. It can get really interesting. I mean, it's not that I don't believe in aliens. I do. I just don't believe these people have ever met any. I'm sorry. I just don't have the thought that in the vastness of space, with all of that potential for life, that we are the only things capable of space flight.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Like, no, they probably just don't come here because we're like the ghetto of space and they just don't want to deal with us.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
my opinion. They just don't come here.
Yeah. Maybe that and or our inability to recognize, they may be so strange that we don't have the ability to realize they've already been here and they've co-evolved with us as mushrooms.
Yeah.
But speaking of which...
Yeah, they are aliens. Mushrooms are fucking aliens.
Yeah, speaking of which, Chronic says, yeah, I lean more towards the stoned ape. He means the stoned ape theory. I'll explain in a second, folks, because we are DNA related. more so to shrooms than monkeys. Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I'll have to look into that. But if that is true, that it would be really weird. I really don't believe in evolution. I'm a creationist, so I don't know what I'm talking of. Yeah, well, okay. So if you folks don't know the stone ape theory, if I didn't really articulate it early, it goes something like this. The standard science seems to think that we evolved into proto-hominids and then hominids, and you got Lucy, who's an example of a species that we apparently evolved from, and then basically sporulate the galaxy. There's an idea called the Venn machine, or I don't know. There's an idea named after a guy. Imagine a machine or a thing that can make copies of itself. Let's say a thing can make 4 copies of itself, send it in 4 different directions. And they can go a certain direction, and at a certain point they stop, they make 4 versions of themselves, and then they send themselves in 4 different directions, right? Sooner or later, they're going to have this big network. And they're going to find whatever it is they're looking for, establish, a map out, everything. And mushrooms would be kind of like that. They would have to rely on landing on a planet that is hospitable to them, like Earth. And then another thing is supposedly mushroom spores riding on the wind here on Earth will make it to outer space. And so we think about this. The mushrooms can go through outer space, stay alive, stay alive forever for like millions and billions of years, make it to another planet, and so on and so forth. Maybe they're seeding the planets out there with intelligent beings. And maybe somewhere there's a planet where the most intelligent being is not an intelligent monkey, but maybe an intelligent fish, like a dolphin or something.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, there are other psychotropic substances that a monkey will eat. Okay? Monkeys are foragers. Right. So the idea of them getting mushrooms, putting them in their mouth, that's very plausible. That's very plausible. Now, the inky psilocybin mushrooms, they have a bitter, kind of punch-you-in-the-nose flavor.
Yeah.
Maybe a monkey wouldn't mind. I do. I have that kind of palate. I'll eat them anyways. I don't fucking really care. That's probably what it is for them, too. They're like, I don't really care about the taste at this point. I'll just fucking eat them.
Well, and on a very hungry day.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, that could probably be what happened. You get a bunch of one troop that's running around looking for new food sources, because in the wild, food sources dry up, especially if you're using them. And your troop is too big. You might deplete the source and have to go find a new one while that one replenishes. And while you're doing that, you're just sampling things. You're testing. That's why there are humans that have the need to test new food. Like, they just can't help themselves. Like, they've never tried that food. They gotta try it.
Yeah.
It's that part of the brain, that foraging and testing.
Neophilic. People who love new.
Yes, they can't help themselves because that part of the monkey brain is very alive for them. And so they just have to. That's one possibility, is that the monkeys were just, our ape ancestors were just roaming around, found some mushrooms, and added it to their diet, which increased their brain pan, because now they're exploring the world through different eyes.
Yeah.
So everything's going to start to imprint differently in different sections of the brain that aren't available to them at that moment, because intelligent-wise speaking, they're very, wake up, go potty, eat, have sex, go to sleep, rinse and repeat.
Yeah. That's
kind of their brain.
Yeah.
So giving them a new set of eyes where they're just they're fascinated by a dewdrop for 5 hours. It's like, oh my god, it's so sparkly.
Yeah, and also supposedly
this changes their ability to perceive their environment.
Also, 2 different things real quick. Supposedly, I can't really back this up with remembering too much, but supposedly there have been studies saying that at lower doses, psilocybin will increase sexual activity. I don't know about that, but I think I remember that. But the following, there is a study out there on file. I've read it myself, by Roland Fisher, published in some medical magazine. Roland Fisher, 1960 something, where he gave patients psilocybin back when it was legal to do so, and he took basically bars, and he had this machine or something where he could make vertical bars, and then he could tilt these bars slowly, and he told people, let me know or ring the buzzer when you determine that it is no longer a straight up and down line, but tilting. And people would do that, all right? And he found that people were able to determine, some lines were parallel, and then other lines would be tilted so that they're no longer parallel. All right? And so they had two groups of lines. One group is parallel with itself. The other group is parallel with itself. They're parallel with each other. He would turn one group so that one group would be parallel with itself and not parallel with the other. Okay, so it's kind of like a tiger in the tall grass, right? When you're on mushrooms at a lower dose, you see that faster than if you're not. And so that would give a monkey an evolutionary advantage. Predators better. And then there's the sex thing, if that's indeed true. And then, of course, there is also, it definitely does something with your brain, man. I mean, psilocybin, by the way, it is very close to serotonin. Your neurotransmitter serotonin. One's 5-HTP. The other one is, 4-phosphorylloxy 5-HTP.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say before is... It may not have only just been mushrooms that contributed to the development of the monkey's brain pan. There's also psychogenic honey that you can find in jungles. Because there's a particular kind of flower grouping that grows in jungles, and then these bees, they basically collect it, and they make these honeycombs up on, rock ledges, and that stuff will spin your world. Like in a fun way. It's hallucinogenic honey that is naturally produced.
Yeah.
Does not have to be encouraged. These bees just like these flowers in the jungle. Now there is a species of tree monkey that also evolved alongside of human. They were smaller, they weren't as successful. And then there was another group of ape that evolved with us, but again, not as successful. I think that was the Neanderthal, and we just absorbed them.
Yeah.
But the tree monkey, we may have absorbed them too, but the tree monkey may have been from the psychogenic honey and not mushrooms, because they have access to those honeys easier than anything on the ground would. So I'm just saying, there's different possibilities as to what could have been the thing that awakened the mind for these different species.
Right.
For apes, in particular, our ancestors, it could very have likely been mushrooms, because they're on the ground. Our ancestors forage for the ground. That's why there's a huge group of our populace that still looks at the ground when they walk. They cannot help it. You looking 1 foot in front of you, and we all see them.
Yeah.
They usually trip and bump into things a lot.
Yeah.
They just instinctually look at the ground. It's a foraging instinct.
Yeah, we are omnivorous, and we will try. We are neophilic in our species. We will try out new things just to see what happens. Another thing is, supposedly the 4-endochemical structure of the psilocybin molecule could not be found anywhere else in organic nature, supposedly.
Yeah, that's why.
Which is supposedly really, really, really weird, and Marx is being very other. Mm-hmm. Then there's also what was the other thing? Shoot, I forget. And I forgot already. Damn it. Well, there was that. Something else connecting it with possible alien stuff, and I forget what right now. Damn it.
Didn't they find some sort of life spore on a Mars rock? Like the fossil of it?
Yeah, well...
there was once something fungal that lived here. Maybe.
It looked like bacteria.
Yeah, there was something alive at some point.
It looked like bacteria, little grains of rice, but yes, it was a fossil, so I don't think they collected DNA from it or anything that.
I don't know. But yeah, I wonder if that could be a relative of the little fuckers that dusted space.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Wouldn't it be funny if, way in the future, our species discovers a planet covered with giant mushrooms?
Yeah.
Skyscraper-sized fucking mushrooms that just,
yeah,
dust into space,
right.
Inverted caps, so that they don't dust the ground. They're literally dusting the air on purpose.
Yeah.
What if there was a planet like that, and they're responsible for this shenanigan?
Yeah. Also, there's cave paintings that seem to connect mushrooms with spirituality.
Yeah.
The mushroom... just look up mushroom shaman cave painting or whatever, Also, there's a figure, if you look that up, there's a figure that will look like it has sort of a bee's head, but it's covered in mushrooms growing out of his body everywhere. The other thing I remember now, Tabby, is this. You were bringing up honey. Honey is a good way to store mushrooms.
Yeah.
Turns the honey blue, by the way. And what else happens with honey if you let it sit around long enough? It ferments.
Yeah.
Then they say that civilization, as non-nomadic civilization, may have arose because of alcohol, and maybe
Possibly,
that
yeah.
humans were keeping the mushrooms for storing mushrooms in honey. Then somehow they lost some, they left some behind, whatever. They return the next year, it's all fermented. They try it, they don't, they get drunk. Or maybe some honey that didn't have mushrooms in it beside that. They tried that, they got drunk, whatever. And they're like, I like this. And then, they had some people settle in place so that they can, ferment, make, mead, which is alcoholic honey drink. Maybe that was the beginning of civilization. And so that would be another brick in the wall there. Another brick in the Tower of Babel to bring things back around to babbling again. But, we're reaching for the sky. Maybe that was another block in the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I mean, I wasn't alive then. It's all speculation, and anybody who says, I know definitively is lying.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, I certainly
you have a good guess. Just say you have a good guess.
Yeah. Chronic had heard a lot of things about mushrooms. Who knew I heard that the mushrooms were alien spores to our planet? Yeah, I think I read that. Yeah, so it's possible.
It's possible. Because they don't mimic
according
anything
to what
else,
I've read.
you know.
Well, it's possible physically and etc. And yes, they're alien nature. It's physically possible for them to go from planet to planet.
The fact that they have more than two sexes. There's not just
Oh yeah,
male and
4
female.
sexes.
They
Yeah.
have 4 sexes
Right.
that we know of.
Yeah,
know?
but I mean, other species have 3 or whatever.
Yeah, it's like.
Anyway, but that is weird, though.
The realms of Earth's reality.
Yeah.
Where it's 2 sexes. Even for flowers.
Diesel
sexes.
Baby says, whoa, no way. This is just in trouble with his girlfriend Tabitha. I think her name was. Yes. I used to watch your channel like years ago and just randomly got recommended this stream in my related videos. Well, that's great, Diesel Baby. Yeah. It was mostly, there's a lot of different things. I've gotten in trouble over the years. Starting in 2017, I got channel strikes left and right. People started saying they were unsubscribed, and things just got worse and worse over the years. Then again, in 2019, put out a lot of videos talking about the anti-lockdown protests all over America. Put out a WordPress that got pretty popular pretty fast, and that seemed to be when YouTube really, really hammered down on us. So I'm not surprised that you thought that we weren't around. But by the way, a lot of videos, this channel could go away at any point. And I've already, I don't care. I just don't care. I'm going to talk about things that they don't want me to talk about. But yeah, in the link, in the description, you'll have one link. You can click on it. You'll see my channels on alternative platforms as Just in Trouble. Tabby has her own channel, and also the Culture War Encyclopedia, both as a blog, it exists as a website, and in video format on alternative platforms as well. The one link below will go to all that. Where was I? Let's see here. Chronic, same Diesel Baby. Chronic also says, yeah, Justin, more or less that's what I was referring to answer your... Okay. Also, exactly, legalize it, prostitution, LOL, please. Because especially when people like the Biden crime family who claim moral superiority when they judge us as sickening. Yeah.
It is. It's like, that's bullshit.
Diesel Baby
You
says,
all are
Sam
the
Harris
most
is out of his
perverse fuckers
mind.
on the fucking planet. How dare you stand there and cluck your tongue morally at me?
Yeah.
Fuck
you. Diesel Baby says Sam Harris is out of his mind now. Yeah, it's weird. It really is weird. Maybe it's because he was just so laser pinpointed on let's ignore feelings and really examine this religion stuff. Maybe something snapped? I don't know. I really don't know. Or maybe, I mean, he does seem like an idiot savant. He does seem like he's a little bit deficient in emotional intelligence. There are multiple intelligences, and emotional intelligence and social intelligence as well. And I think I'm definitely deficient in social intelligence. But certainly some people could be really smart in some areas and really stupid and low in IQ in other areas. And I think that's what's going on with him.
That's just human neurology.
Yeah. Diesel Baby does affirm, yes, WEF, you meant World Economic Forum. Omega says, Just the Trouble with Bill Maher and Howard Stern. Yeah, Howard Stern are both meat puppets.
Oh, yeah, that fucker.
You want to talk? Well, let me finish reading the comment. Both of them are establishment adjacent. Howard Stern is the accelerator and Maher the brakes. Both are trust, believe, obey. Yeah, so yeah, if you guys don't know lately, I don't know if this is a joke, but it doesn't seem to be a joke, but now, all of a sudden, over the Lauren Bobart theater video, Howard Stern's like, yeah, we need to just not be immoral. Like, he built his entire career on being immoral.
That's why we're supposed to love him. I no longer have any respect for Howard Stern because I thought he was being honest. Okay, yes. Is he a perverse asshole? Yes. But at least he was letting you know his truth. You know? I'm good with that. Now his truth actually is that he's a conformist little bitch who has no ability to see himself. And that is nauseating. You know? He's a Bill Maher. He fucking posed as somebody who has intelligence to just show later on that he has absolutely none. That's annoying. I feel conned.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It really is weird. It's weird to see this happen with certain people. It really is.
You know, it's like, you should be better than this. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You literally did a show where a chick had an orgasm over a speaker. Literally straddled a giant speaker while him and the other people in the studio went to try and get her off. How is it you go from that to the morality goose-stepping moron that you are? What the fuck, Bill?
But Bongo Fiesta was a home video that you could buy back in the late 80s where he plays bongos on asses of women.
Yeah, and here's another thing, Stern. Howard, you're gay. If you think... No.
Go ahead.
If all it takes to get you hot for a man is a skirt and a wig...
What?
You're gay. He now has this trans agenda where he's all for the trannies. And it's like, listen, Howard, just because a dude puts on a skirt and a fucking wig does not make him a chick. The fact that you're willing to equate him with a female at that point means you're a closet gay man. Deal with your shit. Quit trying to tell men that they are women and women that they should shut up and it's okay that men get to be women now.
No, fuck
No! Fuck you!
Yeah.
You want to die on a morality field? How about this one, Howard? Women made you who you are. If Robin wasn't the voice of fucking intelligence and sanity on your show, people would have gotten tired of your fucking Bobo clown ass long ago. The fact is, she kept shit normal. She kept shit sane. She made you more interesting. Okay? That's just Robin. Now, all of the bitches that were on your show hoeing themselves for 15 minutes of fame, they really put you where you are. And when you say a man in a skirt is now a fucking woman, you're slapping every one of those actual women in the fucking face who put your fucking big bird, fuzzy-headed dumbass where it is. And trust me, you Alice Cooper wannabe lookalike, no one on this planet thinks you're talented. No one on this planet actually thinks you're fucking charming. No one on this planet will ever think you're attractive. So stop. Just stop thinking you're better than you are. You're a fucking ugly monkey with no talent. And the only thing that gives you the appearance of talent is sex and tits and ass and Robin. So, fuck you for saying a man in a dress is now a woman. Fuck you, Howard. Fuck you for wanting to die on that battlefield. Fuck you for using women this entire time only to betray them. Fuck you, you goddamn soy boy bitch. No wonder your wives leave. 'Cause you're an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole, but I ain't that level. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Damn jerk.
I remember still listening to Howard Stern at work when his marriage was about to end. Didn't realize it at the time, but I remember he would talk about spending more and more time locked in his basement where he had his entertainment setup going on.
Yeah, probably fapping to some other chick.
Probably.
Or some dude apparently in a skirt. He apparently thinks men in skirts are women. So
well,
it might have been
who knows, but I remember him talking about how it made his wife unhappy and, you know, he tried to make light of that whole thing, but that was just his way of dealing with his life at that point in time. And then, you know, you find out they got divorced and turns out he was not exactly the most loyal husband, you know.
No, he's a selfish little bitch, is what he is.
All right.
Like I said, he used women this entire time just to betray them.
Yeah.
Because he went woke. Well, you know what? Fuck you, Howard. Fuck you.
Now, Tabby, Diesel says he had sex with an alien once, and he tells you not to knock it until you try it.
Like a legit alien, or just one of those weird human people who shave off their eyebrows and put the weird black contacts in and get like shark teeth?
Or do you mean an illegal alien?
Oh, that's another kind, yeah. That's another alien, which, you know, I admit some of them look like they could give a whirl, so yeah. I'm gonna knock that.
Illegal aliens?
Well, have you ever seen some of the people crossing the border? Not all of them are ugly dogs. Like, some
No,
of them,
because they're
like,
sending
look like
fighting
they could
age
probably-
men, that's why.
Yeah, like, well, some of them look like they could probably give you a hell of a tussle in the bed. So, like, I get it. You know, like, I get it. That's the kind of alien you're talking about. I get it. Like, I'm not gonna do it, but I get it.
Yeah, now, I've not had sex with aliens, but I may have had sex with succubi. You see, because I've had dreams. I've always had the inability to visually have good dreams, right? But in the past, I used to sometimes have these sleep paralysis. I still get it to this day. But back then, when I had sleep paralysis, there was the succubus who would take on the form of hot women and would try to have sex with me. And, yeah.
I think you were just too backed up.
Probably. Nocturnal missions.
Probably, I mean...
But I'm not talking about actual emissions. I'm talking about getting, teased. But,
like the human brain is fun like that.
yeah.
And so the succubi could be real, or it could just be a manifestation of group thought, like a thought form kind of situation.
Yeah.
Go into the brain that is thinking the energy wave that it was created to respond to.
Yeah.
That's metaphysical thinking.
Yeah.
Or it could just be psychological, where the person has a repression in their brain because of situation, time of age, etc. And so the succubi is their nighttime release.
Yeah.
For the emotional stressor, which that's completely fine. That's just human. Like I said, it could be any of those. It could be real. It could be this. It could be that.
Well, what's your opinion on this? This is a weird thing that happened to me once. My first serious girlfriend, broke up with her. Not long after that, I had a dream where she was giving me a massage. I think at the time I was reading a book about how to give massages, and they were talking about how there are these two nerve lines that go down your either ass cheek down your legs and blah blah blah, right? And they were talking about there's certain pressure points. There's one right in the middle of your ass along that line where if you push it, it's whoa, So had this dream that she was massaging me, looked up at the sky, and I saw it was a full moon. I said, oh wow, it's a full moon, that's really nice. And then boom, she jabbed her thumbs really hard into those points of my ass cheeks in the dream, and I was startled and I woke up because it hurt. And it was like she did it on purpose. And, now at that point in time, this woman was mad at me. She broke up with me, but she broke up with me because I wouldn't bend. And so she was very mad at me. So that was that, okay? Later on that night, and that was a nap. That was a nap after I came home from my day job, yes. And then I took a nap. That night, we all went out to the club. Okay, walking towards the club, I look up, I go, oh, look, it's a full moon, right? And then for the first time ever at that club, all of a sudden, there she was. She just decided for the first time ever to come there where I DJ'd to see what it was like at this goth club. And it was kind of just weird looking up the full moon, then all of a sudden seeing her, and then she glared at me. And I'm like, that's just like the freaking dream, minus the thumb thing. It was the glare was coming from the eyes instead of from the thumbs. What the hell is that about? I don't know. Is it all coincidence or what?
Psychological, or it could be metaphysical, in my opinion. In my opinion, those are the two options you have there. Or, no, there's three options. One, coincidence. Just the simplest from point A to B. And that's the simplest answer. Just coincidence. You could go option 2, psychological, meaning that you were smelling her emotions long before that, and it left an imprint in your brain. Because when we have thoughts and we think things, especially emotional thoughts,
yeah,
we release smells from our body.
But I hadn't been near her in weeks.
It doesn't matter. If prior to you guys not being together, if she was having negative thoughts toward you,
Oh yeah, I'm sure she was. Yes.
then that may
Definitely.
have imprinted in your psyche
Yeah.
negativity toward
Right.
her. So when you sleep, your brain tries to
Process
address that. And so yeah, it makes a fantasy for you to play out. So that's option 2, a fantasy playing out for your brain to understand what's going on. Or it could be metaphysical, where she was just so pissed that she was lashing out metaphysically, dream-wise, and unintentionally seeking your energy. So that's the full moon calling her to you.
Yeah.
Because psychology and magic go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You can't have
So-
one without the other. And so at the end of the day, it will inevitably come back down to psychology.
Yeah. Weird stuff. Anyway, let's see. Anything more to the story from Shane Cashman? Probably not. But let's just see. Notifications. Looks like nothing from Shane Cashman. Okay, cool. Well, that's that. So that's the end of that story. You know what? I am going to, just for the hell of it, play this. Not for the hell of it, because this is relevant. I'm going to turn the mic down, though, and make sure I get the volume good for this following thing. But this may be some, what do you call it? Some redemption. We'll see.
Head first into the shallow end with this next story about Eliza Blu, Chrissy Mayer, and all the stuff that's been going on over the past week. And we'll be as candid as possible. I'm sure we'll piss some people off. But we have this tweet from Chrissy Mayer. For those that aren't familiar, Chrissy Mayer is a comedian, and she hosts a podcast called Simpcast. And she's been on the show, I think a couple times, right? It's been a couple times. We've had her on the show before. And so there's been some controversy related to a guest we had recently, Eliza Blu, and some censorship actions that she's been accused of, notably filing privacy requests against people who talk about her past work. And so here we have the story from Chrissy Mayer. She says, Eliza Blu got 4 of my YouTube videos removed for showing a fair and balanced doc trailer, which featured 3 to 5 seconds of her public, at the time now removed, world star hip hop video. Must be nice to have the power to rewrite history, then gaslight Twitter and YouTube into accepting it. Now, I'll say this outright. I said previously I'm uninterested in this. And I'll kind of, I think this got to the point where literally right before the show, I saw this tweet and I'm like, okay, guys, you got me. All right. Like, I'm starting to see and learn more that's having me question what's going on if YouTube videos are getting pulled. And we're hearing that a bunch of people actually had YouTube videos getting pulled. And so this clearly is an abuse of the system to a degree that we've not seen for a while now. It used to be in the early days of YouTube, there were attempts by political rivals to falsely flag and get people's content removed. And now it seems like we're seeing an uptick in this, particularly pertaining to Eliza Blu. The first thing I'll say is, as it pertains to the issues related to me personally, look, man, I say it a million times. I'm an arrogant shithead, and so don't come at me and yell at and scream in my face and think I'm going to bend the knee and do anything for you. And I will tell everybody right off the bat, we had this person on the show that I don't care too much about. I don't follow her career. I don't know much about her, and I don't handle booking. We've had her on the show 2 times, but all of a sudden we found ourselves inundated with. And I'm not saying, you guys got to be very careful, because when I said that there was a PR firm running like 50 accounts, everyone started claiming I called literally the millions of people who are watching these videos bots. And I never said that. Yeah. But we got some very gruesome, gruesome's maybe not the right word, but let's just say, people crossed the line with what they were sending to us and the images they were posting of people. Easiest way to get me to be like, I will not give you what you want. But here's what I have to say about this. There are a lot of people who are genuinely concerned about what we're seeing in terms of what Eliza Blu's done and her past work. And there's a big difference between those people and the very few people I am directly criticizing. The people who are posting just really awful photos and videos, sending awful things to us. And I want to make sure that people understand, because there's still this here's what I said earlier. Following the Project Veritas stuff, following, obviously the Crowder Daily Wire stuff, following these Republicans getting shot, I'm reading this. I have a source contact me. They say, we want you to read this letter, check this out. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to publish this. And I'm reading this and I'm like, yo, if all of this bad stuff is happening right now to various organizations and everyone's fighting with each other, yeah, that's it. Like, infiltrate, destroy, right? You make divide and conquer. Yeah, I'm not going to be all about that, right? So I said outright to Jeremy Hambley of the Quartering, look, I apologize. I don't want to be fighting with you. We agree on way too much for me to be bickering or complaining about something that is like one issue where, you know, ultimately probably agree mostly on it, but there's like a personal issue that's making, you know, me upset or something like that. When I'm looking at, we have another story we'll talk about in a minute, a woman saying that she used to work in gender affirmation for children, and now she's realizing how bad it is. I'm like, there's a lot more things that we all agree on that we need to be focused on. My biggest concern with all of this, chip is bad. But if I'm going to get distracted and you know, personally aggrieved or whatever, and that means infighting will erupt that takes us off mission, we're being played. We're being played. And so I'll say this to you right now. When I came out with my video earlier and said exactly that, like, Jeremy, I shouldn't be fighting with you. I shouldn't be, that's not what we should be doing. That's not what I should be doing. So I apologize. Jeremy put out a video saying he apologizes. I have tremendous respect for that, and I sincerely apologize. There are still people trying to drum up this infighting, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. When all this starts, and I'm this guy who's sitting here like, look, man, I don't know anything about her. We booked her on the show because she's on Twitter and she's a prominent activist. I didn't know that people had beef with her, and I don't know what that beef is. We get people sending us, let me just say, like, photos and videos that I just think would make a dad, you know, like if a dad found out people were doing about his daughter, he'd end up in jail, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So you want to come at me and my friends with these really horrifying things, and I'm going to be like outright not getting anywhere near this. But I genuinely and legitimately understand that's not most people. So I hope all of you understand that there are people still right now trying to get us to keep fighting. I'm not going to do it. I will outright say, especially upon seeing Chrissy Mayer get her videos taken down, I'm absolutely wrong about that. I was personally slighted, and that put blinders on me. I don't want to fight with anybody. I will keep being an arrogant shithead, and I will say that. But I also recognize we shouldn't be fighting if we can avoid it, and we can focus on things that are more important. So the only thing I can say, just one last thought, is please keep an eye out for those who are still in the chat right now, desperately trying to get me to get angry and to fight with you guys when I'm saying, no, wait, man, like, we need to come together on this.
Yeah, I think the big thing here is people, like they say in soccer, if you're a defender, keep your eye on the ball. And I think so many people got their eye off the ball in this story. And I'm, like you pointed out, with the censorship, I don't know if you pointed out the legal action she threatened supposedly online. I think those are things that are worthy of derision and worthy of looking into and see what is going on here. Why is this happening? Maybe there's more to the story. But this thing got taken so out of control and to such a level to things that had nothing to do with it. Her past, which don't get me wrong, like, sure that like maybe like discredited her or something, but that I don't, personally myself, I couldn't care if she made up all of that. That's not pertinent information to me. What is pertinent to me is, did she threaten legal action against people, and is she getting accounts taken down? I don't know. I'm open to it. It seems that way. It seems to imply. I read Shane's latest article. It seems there's something building there, maybe some sort of argument. I don't know. I'm still open to. And the people criticizing Timcast for not jumping in already, they literally had a guy. There, and like, it was clearly not a fleshed out story. So why would you comment on something before it's a fleshed out story?
But here's what I think too, and I can't speak for Shane, right? I will tell you guys with 100% sincere honesty. I told Shane I didn't think the story was worth it. I don't know anything about it, and I said to him, if you do this, you need to sit down with Jeremy Hambley, and we need to do like 2 different profiles of like, what is the big picture here? Here's the problem, and we got baited because the things that were sent to Shane, I guarantee you, like, and again, I can't speak for him. It's not like he said this to me, but I do know that people posted very inappropriate things about his family. You do that, you guarantee, that's bait. They were trying to get us to fight. And so I've now had people saying like, bro, it's an op. Like, they're trying to make you fight each other. What I was saying is it's a PR firm that I think was trying to promote Eliza because it worked in making her famous. Having John Rich come on here and be like, who is this Eliza I'm hearing about now? And I'm like, man, that's so convenient for her. And I'm specifically referring to, obviously not like a YouTube channel where they're talking about it. I'm referring to the people even still right now in the chat who are desperately trying to make us fight. Mm-hmm. And they're the same accounts that spam the same things over and over and over again, clearly inorganic. Desperately trying to make conflict happen.
Sometimes even real people get caught in that state of mind because it's like scratching an itch. It feels so good, but if you keep scratching, you're going to rip the skin off and make it bleed. Like, we're in the it feels really good state right now. Don't keep scratching. Brittany Venti got videos taken down of her today. I made a YouTube video for the first time in about a month and a half today about this on my YouTube channel, Ian Crossland. Please check it out after the show. And I'll remind you again. And I posted a link to Brittany's video. In that video, she showed clips from this World Star music video in question. This is all revolving around this one video, I think, that had been previously taken down. But Brittany still had clips from this now removed video on her channel. Then that video was removed over the course of the last 6 hours. Eliza, I'm concerned that shame is a very powerful, dangerous feeling. And if you are pushed into becoming a useful tool for cancel culture, to hyperinflate cancel culture because of your I know it's generic, afraid of your past, but just it's don't become the villain that you're looking to squash out. That's the best advice I think I can give you right now. But if these bans are unjust, they need to be rectified. If something, Brittany said in her video, she was showing screenshots of Twitter's ban thing, and they said that it was privately created or distributed sensitive content.
That's a Twitter rule.
It was publicly distributed sensitive content. It was not private, and it was taken down for it being a privately sensitive piece of content.
How sensitive is it really? If
it was the music video.
Yeah, she made the video. She was proud of it. She was, ostensibly she was spreading it around back in the day. So
I think that's up for debate, but I think it for the sake of argument, we say it is sensitive content, but it was public sensitive content. So Twitter, reinstate Brittany. That ban is unjust, in my opinion.
Simply put, in just to go back to like our position on this, I think I got tricked. I think we all got tricked here into taking out our anger on people like Jeremy and Brittany. I think so. I was like, I don't want to get into too much detail about what was happening to us, but like, these are my friends and people I care about, and I don't want to call them threats or anything. But the stuff we were getting sent was, let's just put it triggering. If someone sent you the stuff that we got sent, you'd probably react the same way. And then when, I was looking at, I made this joke tweet earlier. I was like, Daily Wire, Project Veritas, me in the quartering. You thought it was a coincidence? Wait till phase 2 or whatever, like as a joke. People thought it was real. And then I stopped and kind of thought about it when I was reading the Veritas letter. And I'm like, people were saying, is it a coincidence that right after the Pfizer thing comes out, we have the Grammys brought to you by Pfizer. We do this big thing complaining about it. All of a sudden, we're getting slammed with these people claiming to represent a group of people, but they're sending us some of the most abhorrent and awful things you could imagine, pissing us off and making us fight. And then I'm just like, yo, nah, I'm not doing it. You got me. You got me for a few days, but I'm not going to do it now.
And to some of the nicest people I've ever met. The two people in question, I've interacted with them, met one of them personally, and like even with the limited time I met them, they genuinely are some of the nicest people I ever met.
Who are you talking about?
The one person, because I'm sure we don't want to name the name to deflate it. No.
Oh, I don't care.
Then Shane Cashman. So Shane, I've only met him online. Done one show with him. He came on my show, Four Pony Boys, which is a joking ripoff of Four Horsemen, because we're buddies and so who cares. But yeah, I found him on my show. He's like the nicest guy I ever met, and super interesting fella. And just for this to happen to someone like that, not that it makes it better who they are, but it's just disgusting.
This is the thing too. It's like even before we did anything, we were getting sent awful stuff and getting attacked. And then so I was like, okay, well, we're gonna cover this, and then it ramped up and got crazier. And then of course I'm like I had an internal conversation with Shane, and I'm saying like I don't know if we can handle whatever this is or what they're doing. And he's like, oh, we got to tell the story, man.
You know what's something I realized?
I recommended. Well, so I mean, Shane's clearly pissed. I don't know. I think we had talked to him. The plan now is maybe as soon as possible is to have Chrissy Mayer on with Shane and then just hash all this stuff out, because I think we're being played.
I'd love to have Brittany Venti and Eliza on at some point in the future after we work through these cycles. I think it's fantastic. This is this kind of thing we can avoid in the future if we talk about it now. I realized we have a responsibility to talk about this stuff. It's not stuff I want to do. I don't want to get dramatic and talk about my friends online, who did what and who said what. But when it comes to banning and people losing their livelihoods, like if someone's banned from Twitter, that could be their life, their income. And it's this show, Tim, me, we have a responsibility to talk about cancel culture and social media censorship. It's just like, with great power comes great responsibility, and you have to make personal sacrifices. This is a sacrifice we have to make. We have to talk about this stuff.
I think that it's pretty clear that I don't imagine that people thought that the Timcast brand was pro-censorship because of this stuff. But I mean, there's a lot of people in the chat that are, like you said, that are still looking to stir it up, that are a lot
of lies too.
So
Like that was the thing about it is I'm seeing people post videos being like, you know, I'm canceling my membership at timcast.com and stuff like that. And we gained over 1,000 members in the past week, which is 3 times like what we normally do.
I think everybody involved in this has become more famous as a result of this whole thing. So
I think
you could call it infighting. Steven Crowder's way more popular than he was 2 months ago.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8.
Alrighty, well, I made myself too loud. Okay, sorry about the loudness there, folks. I have to tone it down. All right, well, so there you go. Not really much of an apology.
More like a deflection.
More like a deflection. As I was saying to Tabby when the mic was muted, it seems like Tim Pool is basically saying, well, yeah, but see, people were being mean to us for the wrong thing we did, so I'm not going to talk about the wrong thing we did or say it was wrong.
Yeah.
And he said, look, that's just the kind of guy I am. If you're going to be like that, I'm going to be like that back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, Tim, that's very childish.
It is. It's very childish. And he's basically, come on, that's an excuse. Look, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the hottest woman on the planet and nice as hell. And somebody on the internet, like Kyle's dad, is just going to say, you're an ugly, mean cunt. It's gonna happen. I mean, I know somewhere somebody's probably said something mean about Tabby. I've never witnessed it. I mean, you guys have always been nice, and even though we've had a lot of haters, nobody's ever actually said anything bad about Tabby. Her looks, anyway. They say she's a Nazi and all that. But anyway, my point is this: is that yeah, people are gonna say mean. There's always gonna be people who say you can put up video about cute puppies, and there's gonna be people out there who are gonna be like, fuck these puppies. Okay?
Yep.
So that's not an excuse.
No, it's not. You got
No.
death threats? Oh, I've had plenty of those.
Yeah.
I've even had people say, I can get your social security number and sell it. And I was like, well, thanks for the evidence against you.
Yeah, you know, people,
It's like you gotta let it roll off your back. Pretend you're a duck and it's all fucking
yeah.
water.
There's been people who threatened us with incorrect addresses. There's been people who threatened us with correct addresses. There's people who left
come right
stickers
to our
on our
house.
front doors, who steal Tabby's big wooden sculpture from out front.
I wasn't done with that, by the way. You could have at least let
her
me
finish.
before you stole it.
Yeah, by the way, Six Hexenhammer 666 just tweeted, I guess Trump just crushed Howard Stern's remaining spine. Ouch.
Ouch!
Whoa, okay, let's find out what happened there.
It was already brittle as fuck, so it wasn't that hard, but...
Yeah. Howard Stern and Trump. Let's see what comes up. Because that's pretty cool. Trump torches broken weirdo Howard Stern. Jeremy from The Quartering, who we just watched the video from. He is sharing this from Truth Social from Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump apparently, according to the screenshot, and other people also confirming it. So it looks like we have 2 different screenshots depending on how they set up their thing, night mode or day mode. Okay, quote, Donald J. Trump. September 23rd, 1:57 a.m. Okay. Well, whatever time zone he's from. The real Howard Stern is a weak, pathetic, and disloyal guy who lost his friends and much of his audience. Until just recently, I haven't heard his name mentioned in years. I did a show many times in the good old days, and then he went woke, and nobody cares about him any longer. I don't know what they really pay him, but it shouldn't be much. His influence is gone, and without that, he's got nothing. He's just a broken weirdo, unattractive both inside and out, trying like hell to be relevant.
He's into she-males, apparently.
Yeah.
He likes chicks with dicks.
I don't have a
as
problem
they're
with
called
that,
in
but
porn.
I don't have a problem with that, but he did make a lot of jokes at the expense of gay people over the years.
Of
But then
course he
again,
did.
that comedy is comedy, so whatever.
Yeah, but if he's closet gay, which I suspect because he thinks the only thing that makes you a woman is a skirt and a wig, well, he might actually be gay.
Yeah.
In which case, his derogatory statements toward gay people make perfect sense.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Bag.
quote, Trump turned Howard from the king of all media into Prince Harry of all media, unquote. They're saying, they said it on this clip. Holy shit. Yeah, because if you folks don't know, he used to call himself the king of all media because at one point in time, he was the top radio person. He also had a top television show. And he also had that movie, which was a hit movie. He also had the best-selling book. So king of all media was pretty fair for a time. I don't know, the king of all media, a little hyperbolic, but that's really an achievement to make it in that many pieces of media when what is your talent is just, kind of speaking funny and offensive often. Yeah, I guess. No, that's Trump. You're thinking of Trump. I'm talking Howard Stern was called king of all media when was the top radio, top TV show, had that movie out, and also there was an album that he did of the soundtrack for that where he worked with Rob Zombie. To put it together, that soundtrack, and he's actually on a Rob Zombie song on the soundtrack. He gets to go through some distortion.
Him being a derogatory asshole to women might actually explain it. It would be explainable if he was gay.
Here's Trump on the Stern show, but yeah, that would explain it. Yeah,
because they would hold a hostility to having to need to be with a female.
No, I think he really likes women, man.
I don't know. I don't think he does because, like I said, he just betrayed them all without even fucking batting an eye.
No, you could be attracted to women and hate them.
Well, maybe he just hates them, but I don't know. Maybe I think he might be closet gay.
Well, who knows? Anyway,
his next wife might just be a tranny.
Could be. Came here to see if there was anything in the notifications from Shane Cashman. I wonder if he's actually. Let's see. He hasn't blocked me, so that's cool. Oh, no, he has. Look, Tabby.
Oh, he's still mad.
Oh, so he's got nothing to say.
It's okay, little one. It's okay. You're allowed to be mad now. Go get your juice and go sit down and watch your Barney. It's all right.
Oh, boy.
See, yes, you have the right to block me. You have the right, but I also have the right to fucking razz you for doing so.
Yeah, he has a right to block me. I just think it's funny.
But I get to use you for comic relief. Biatch!
Yeah. Well, there you go. Shane Cashman blocked me because...
That's so pathetic.
I really thought he would have some sort of defense saying, no, not really. Technically, I put out a post once where I said, I was wrong. I thought it was going to be something like that. And I thought I was going to be prepared to be like, okay, well, maybe my question assumed too much by asking if you ever apologized. But no, it was a lot worse than I thought. Yeah. Tabby sees me do this all the time. I give somebody the benefit of the doubt, and then I get shocked at how stupid or wrong they come off. And I have to look at Tabby sometimes and actually ask, did that just happen?
Yes, it happens. Humans are that dumb. We're that dumb. Like Tim here, coming up with excuses instead of just saying, yeah, I did a dumb thing, and then I did a dumber thing by removing the dumb thing.
Right.
You don't even have to apologize. You just have to admit wrong. Like, I did a dumb thing. That's good enough for me.
It's kind of an apology.
That would be enough for me. I did a dumb thing. Like, okay, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
That shows that you have self-awareness. That's all I'm asking for. Yeah. I just want to know that the ape in front of me has fucking self-awareness enough for me not to be afraid of them.
Right, but then I have a vote of no confidence in Shane now.
Yeah. Because if another ape is too incompetent to see its own incompetency, it's a danger to me because its incompetency might get me killed.
It's a liability.
So it's like, I just tell me you see you. That's all I need is for you to see you.
Yeah.
If you can do that, I'm good.
Oh boy.
That his excuse showed that it was an excuse. Like, it was his explanation, but it comes across as an excuse, which is gonna get more people to talk shit like we are talking shit right now, because that's how it's going to appear to you and the still loyal followers to that subject in regards to you. That's just reality. That's human brain. I get that. Whatever. I just wanted to see that you saw you, and you failed to show me that you can see you, and that's annoying.
Yep.
Because it makes me wonder, why can't you see you?
And so, to some extent, Tim Pool has kind of done to me what Bill Maher and Sam Harris has done to me, which is make me go, oh, I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. Excuse me, I got a burp. I'm so disappointed.
disappoint people. If I do, I'm sorry, but you know, it happened. I am a human, which
Well, I don't
means
know, I
I'm a
mean-
big hairless monkey.
All the
Who does dumb
criticism
shit.
that I've seen about you in comments and on social media has always been something to the effect of that Nazi blah 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 or fascist blah blah blah. So I mean, how can you can't really feel bad about that because it's nonsense.
Yeah, it's like whatever. No, but I mean people who like might have an actual critique over things that I say. It's like, yeah, those are my opinions. I stand by them. I'm sorry if you don't like them. If I'm wrong, prove it to me and I'll admit my wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's that simple.
Yeah.
I'd rather be wrong than fucking pretend to be right.
Yeah.
Because that's boring.
Yep.
That's just boring. I mean, at least when you're wrong, you have an opportunity to learn something new.
Definitely.
I know, that's one way to see it, instead of pride going before the fall where you just get indignant about being wrong. It's like, you're human, you can be wrong. I'm not infallible. That's why, trust me, when I say something that I see as factual, it's because I've seen it through my eyes. The information that I've gathered was through my eyes. It doesn't mean you should just take it at face value. No. Go look. I could be wrong. I am female, thus emotional.
Yeah.
You know, so...
And also,
go look.
even when we think we're sure about something, we are taking somewhat of a gamble. So, for example, I am sure that I gave that cashier $10. Are you sure you're not going to wake up in 2 seconds and go, I had this weird dream where I thought I gave the cashier $10? But
Yeah. It's like, I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with admitting that you're wrong. You know? Just showing that your self-awareness is on scale. That's all I expect of somebody when they do something stupid in a video or online because of, you know, they're an influencer to some degree. It's like, just acknowledge that you were dumb.
Yep.
That's fine. It's not the end of the fucking world. But if you're going to double and triple down on it, now I'm thinking it was purposeful stupidity. Which is shameful.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not.
you're choosing to be dumb.
There's insincerity going on now.
Yeah, like, why are you choosing that path?
Intellectual dishonesty is going on here.
Yeah, and that's very annoying. You know, and I don't appreciate that, especially.
Right.
But, yeah, if you're wrong, you're fucking wrong. Just fucking admit it and move on. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to say, I'm sorry. You're not 10. No one expects you to show that you own morality.
Yeah. Now
Just that you have self-awareness. That's all.
I had no plans whatsoever in putting Shane Cashman in the Culture War Encyclopedia. But after his behavior today, yeah, he should be remembered as, and he should be made an example of. Because,
Sadly.
you know, history, we are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past if we don't remind ourselves or are reminded of those mistakes. We're doomed to repeat them.
Yeah, no one's infallible. No one's perfect. That's what makes our species so fucking interesting. If we were all perfect, everybody would cease to exist because nobody would try.
Yeah.
You know, no one would give a fuck.
We need tension.
We need tension. We need strife. We need struggle. That's how human psychology works. Without those things, we become weird.
Strife is needed to thrive.
Why do you think SJWs are so fucking weird? Most of those people don't struggle at all. They have very privileged realities, which is why they have the time to basically excommunicate themselves from logic. Because struggle makes you think logically. It just does.
It forces you to.
Yeah, exactly. It forces you to. Now, if you lack logic to begin with because your brain is designed that way, you're just fucked. But for the reality of most humans, it is the opposite of that. Yeah. You are choosing these things. Oh my god. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Face palming.
Face palm.
I might cause brain damage if I were to face palm right now.
Oh boy.
It's
So,
like,
okay, well, there
whoa.
you go, folks. What do you think? Leave us a comment, and thank you for being here with us.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Culture War Encyclopedia. See the links in the description for all that and for Tabby's channel. Alrighty. Now, gonna say goodbye. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
That's my butt.